are ready to go right now. There we are.
All right. So, what is up, everybody? Welcome to a new edition of Metalheads Unite. Your favorite
Yes.
part of your everyday. So,
Whether you'll admit it or not, it is. But
uh, I mean, I'd say every day because in some places it's not Saturday.
oh, that's true. That is true. Yep. We have some friends of ours who are already into their Sunday. So
Yeah. So, um, all right. Well, like I said, there was kind of a quiet week for news this week, but
it was kind of strange.
you know, I guess not everybody's just calmed down from December. So, although
Yeah.
the past doesn't actually say that, but we'll get into that during that segment. But
Also true. Yeah.
But
I don't know, the calendar can be strange sometimes because you would think like this time of year will quiet down. Like nope.
yeah, throwing those little early introductions, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man! All right, I guess we will kick this bad boy off like normal with a couple of birthdays here. Then after that, I'll touch on some other stuff, but get this out of the way real quick. From December the 11th through the 17th. December 11th, we had a Zachy Vengeance, a guitarist for Avenged Sevenfold. I almost said Angel. What the hell's wrong with me? Avenged Sevenfold. Already starting out great. Look at this. Avenged Sevenfold. December 12th, we had Bruce Kulick, guitarist for Kiss, of course, from 84 to 96, and then from 97 to 2002. Two little stints there with Kiss, so which is what he's most known for. But of course, he's been in other stuff. But we had Dan Hawkins, a guitarist for The Darkness, Morgan Rose, drummer for Seven Dust. December 13th, we had Ted Nugent, a guitarist and vocalist in Crazy Ass Right Wing. Never mind, that's a different show. Solo, and of course, they've been with the Damn Yankees back in the past. So then we had Amy Lee, singer and songwriter for Evanescence. Matt Dice, I don't know if it's Dice or Dice, bassist for All That Remains. Then we had one of our I guess bands that we follow a lot and met a few times, but Rob Rivera, drummer for Nonpoint, had a birthday.
Yep.
December 14th, we had Cliff Williams, bassist for AC/DC, CJ Snare, vocalist for Firehouse, Tim Scold, musician and producer for bands like Shotgun Messiah, Scold, and Marilyn Manson. Just to name a few there, but he's got a long list of accolades there. So,
yep.
December 15th, Mark Jansen, guitarist, vocalist, and songwriter for Epica. Ronnie Radke, singer for Escape the Fate, and of course, Fallen in Reverse. We had Carmen Apice, drummer for Vanilla Fudge and Cactus, and Clint Lowry, guitarist for Seven Dust. I know a lot of people probably think, well, Carmen Apice isn't really metal, but I mean, a lot of metal drummers use him as a inspiration. So. December 16th, we had Billy Gibbons, guitarist for ZZ Top. Of course, there's another one there, but then we had I'm gonna kill this Japanese name, Nawo Kawakita. Nawo Kawakita. Hopefully, that's close enough. Drummer for Maximum the Hormone. Then December 17th, we had Paul Rogers, singer and musician for Bad Company. Sam Loeffler, drummer for Chevelle. Neil Sanderson, drummer for 3 Days Grace, and then Joshua Ingram, ex-drummer for New Year's Day. So there are the birthdays of the week. If I missed anybody, I apologize. Do you have any personal ones going on? Or?
Not that I'm aware of. Well, actually, I take that back. One of my great aunts had a birthday this week. I almost forgot about my aunt. So
yeah. All right. Well, happy birthday to her as well.
Yes.
And of course, if anybody out there listening has had a birthday this week, I hope you had a good one. And if you're celebrating with us today, we thank you for that. So, morning from Miami. Wow. Well,
yeah.
I'm sure you are thankful you're dodge the 40-degree weather then. So,
Yeah, no kidding.
because it's going to be rough next week around here anyway. So
yeah, Dana, you may want to stay down there for a week.
yeah, for a week anyway. Yeah,
it's supposed to be in this. It's supposed to be in single digits overnight, a couple nights this week. So yeah, if you can stay down there, you may want to.
Yeah, and it depends on what course that winter storm takes. We may get a little bit of precipitation out of that.
We might. Yeah, we might.
Kind of depends on how far it pushes down, but it is pretty rough. So from the models I've seen anyway.
Yeah. Anyway. This weather report brought to you by Metalheads Unite.
Yeah. Oh man, I wanted to give a few accolades out from some of the bands that we have talked to. I noticed they have a few things put out there. Of course, first off, we want to congratulate Avarice for being on the. God dang, I'm trying to look for something. I can't do two thoughts at once. There we go. Yeah, they actually got onto the Alcatraz lineup there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Over in Belgium there. And I know that's something they talked about on the podcast, but couldn't really announce anything because they weren't, I guess.
They weren't confirmed yet.
Yeah, one of those situations where, well, I don't know if it's so much confirmed. I think they were just like, hey, you can't say anything until this part is done. Probably like a contract signing or whatever they had to do. I told him, I said, well, if you think that's bad, try sitting on a movie you were in for 6 months.
That's true.
That shit was horrible, dude. I'm just like, and then you kind of like being a background actor, you don't want to say anything because then you may not even be visible in the movie anyway. So
yeah, that's true. So, I can't imagine what it's like for because The Walking Dead just ended. So I mean,
yeah,
I wonder what it's like for them. I mean, they shoot like the whole season. And then the season comes out, and while people are watching the season, the actors are all at home like, we've already done all this. Everyone else is trying to watch it and get through it and get caught up, knowing, and then the actors are sitting on this shit the whole time, especially with like this last season. It was like in 3 parts. So
right. Yeah, I
so
think
just imagine how they feel. They got to probably sit on shit for like over a year or something.
Yeah, well, I mean, didn't the last one kind of go over a year with the 3 parts?
Yes.
Yeah,
it seemed like it. Well, it seemed like it anyway.
And then we want to give Hex, band we had on a few about a month or so back. They actually placed 9th among the 15 album releases on Sturmey's Rock and Metal page. So congrats to them. So,
congratulations to them.
So we got a lot of the bands that we've had on here got a lot of good accolades, man. That's pretty cool. So,
yeah.
And then Extinction AD said if you're not on their list, then you suck. So
yeah, I think the exact words that they said were poser. I think that's
there you go. You're a poser.
Yeah. You're a poser.
Which I'm sure he's being we talked to Rick, so they're kind of a fun band.
Oh yeah, he's just being facetious.
Yeah, I think he pretty much I think he's one of those guys, and I think most of the bands we've talked to are one of those. They know what sound they're looking for, and if you like it, if you don't, you don't. I mean, it's kind of and that's one good thing about metal is everybody's not going to have the same opinion about what the album of the year or something are. And actually, we'll talk a little bit about that here in a little bit. So because it's December 17th, and of course Loudwire and Blabbermouth or Metal Injection, all those have already gotten their top 20 top picks from 2022 already out. And I'm just like I was like there's 2 weeks left, right?
Yeah.
So, you don't want to be sitting on that shit and some fucking badass album come out on the 30th,
yeah, and completely implode your fucking your list. So we will be doing ours. We will be doing ours on December 31st. We will be doing all of our year in review stuff on the last day of the year. So
and it's fair because you if you think about it's not fair to a band to come out with an album on the either this coming up week or the next week, and it'd be a fire ass album, and then they don't even get any don't even get any recognition from the main magazine sources. So
Yeah, I just actually went over to Heavy Metal or Heavy Music HQ, that we've been using. And over the next 2 weeks, this coming Friday and then on December 30th, there are still 20 brand new albums coming out. So there's 2 weeks left there's 2 weeks left in the year. We still have 20, and that's just the albums on this list. This probably isn't even a be all end all list of the new releases that are about to come out. So, we've got 20 more that we are aware of in the next 2 weeks. So it's you never know. So
it sucks for me. It sucks for me because I'm already having a hard time learning it in.
I actually started doing some year-end top 10 prep earlier this week.
Yeah, me too.
I've started to do some review, and I've been going over it in my head, and I think I have a preliminary top 10, but I definitely haven't even written anything down yet, because if I do, I'm going to have to write it down. Hold on. Go on. Go on. If you're going, go.
My top 3 or 4 are pretty much concrete, but after that, I'm kind of like, I don't know, man. It's kind of rough placing. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure I have my album of the year set. But trying to decide, 2 through 10 where those albums are going to be. Like I say, I've got a preliminary list begun. So,
well, the thing is, I'm pretty sure that I don't remember if we've done that before, but I'm pretty on board with doing an honorable mention before I get into the top 10, because I think there was so many good albums they at least need to be mentioned again.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, I was thinking about that too. Cause because they're, as with every, it doesn't really matter, especially with the time span of a year, like we're going to be doing again. This is going to be our 3rd year in review. Even though this is our 2nd year, our 2nd full year.
Right.
I know you remember, and I don't know if anybody else who listens now was even around back then. I seriously doubt it because of the other platform we were on. Right. But our very first episode was our 2020 year in review. So that's how this whole thing started, was looking back at 2020. So we had all of 21 to go through, and that was hard enough. But and then having to go through this year, I mean, especially with just some of the heavy hitters that came out this year. So, I mean, on top of that, I mean, you listened to more albums than I did, but I mean, but you talking about between the two of us, we probably, I think it's probably pretty safe to say that between the two of us, we probably listened to in upwards of probably 100 albums this year.
Well, this if it tells you anything, is the reviews that I've done this year. So,
yeah, so
I'm having to filter through that as well. So
right, so whenever you have like a time span like this, like what we're going to be dealing with, the amount of content we have, and then trying to, even if we were trying to do a top 20, that would be difficult because
it would. Yeah.
But then trying to shoehorn the amount of quality content we have into 10. I mean, there's gonna be bands that don't make it, and it's no slight to them. It's just it's just a testament to
how much good music was out there.
Exactly, it's just a testament to the quality of the content we got this year.
And like I said, we the people that we invited on the show this year that had new music out. Of course, Sepsis didn't have any albums new out, but most of the people we talked to had new albums out, and like we didn't invite them on because of not liking their music. I mean, that was the main reason we put them on here, was because we thought that the music was great and it needed to be shared. Right. So even doing a top 10 of our guests would be hard. Right. Yeah.
Let alone trying to do the entire year. Now, granted, we're not bitching about it. We're super duper excited about it, but it's going to be a very difficult but fun challenge to try to do this.
Yeah. Another thing people need to realize is this is a opinionated,
Oh yeah.
opinionated list, just like anywhere
Hmm.
else. So, like I said, we'll go through a couple of the lists here in a little bit through from like Metal Injection. I think it was that already had all their stuff out, but I'll check it out again in a minute. But yeah, we're going to go through that, and we're probably going to disagree with a lot of it, just because.
Probably.
Well, the main reason I think is because I don't think they listen to everything. You know what I mean? That's the thing. I don't think you got to listen to like all of it, you
Hmm.
know, and figure out what you like and what you don't. And you got to figure out what you like and what you don't like, and then try to separate that out, and then try to separate the stuff you do like down to like 10. So,
Hmm.
and to be fair, I turn something on and it's death metal, I'm not going to listen to it probably, because unless it's just something kind of obscure, which I have listened to death metal albums this year and gave them pretty decent reviews. But there's also that normal death metal that we don't really care a lot about, and it's not dissing death metal at all. I mean, there's a lot of successful death metal bands out there. So,
Hmm.
and I'm telling you right now, if you were a death metal fan, this was your year for fucking music, because there was a
Seems like it. Yeah.
lot of it. There was a lot of it, dude.
Hmm.
And it was great. I think it's great because anytime any genre or subgenre of metal is getting that push and that listen, and that's just all the more better for metal in general. So,
Exactly. Yeah.
like I said, we don't knock any subgenre of any of it. We appreciate all of it that's out there. But
Hmm.
now, do we like it all? No, and everybody's not going to. That's the thing. Is
That
I mean,
is what's great about heavy metal is
it is.
there is literally something out there for everyone.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So, all right. I guess we will. Oh, one more thing. I don't know. It's like when you was talking about going back and listen. I went back and was going through and listened to Queensryche's latest album, and waiting for the new obituary. Yeah, that is coming. I think early 2023. So February maybe. I think I read something like that.
it
So
is coming out January 13th.
yeah. So I knew it was like really really soon. So
Hmm.
uh,
I tell you one, not trying to get too far ahead or anything, but I tell you one album I'm super duper looking forward to next year based on the two singles that have come out already. New fucking Avatar album.
oh yeah.
Holy
It's
shit,
it's
man.
definitely going to be different too, because I think that last single was a little different for Avatar.
But still, that's one of the things I love about Avatar.
Yeah, I don't
Is
think there's
Avatar does not pigeonhole themselves.
yeah, there's that, like I said, Johannes is one of those vocalists that is pretty wide range with what he can do,
Hmm.
which is special, and a lot of vocalists would probably die to have that.
Hmm. Yeah.
But not knocking any vocalists at all
No, of course
here.
not.
So because even David Draymond, even though everybody says, oh well, he sings the same all the time, he still got range. I mean, um, but
More range than I think people will give him credit for. But I think
yeah,
that may also at the same time be a little bit of his own fault. But he's
true. Yeah,
actually he actually had on the last two albums. David Draymond has
yeah, he's kind of showcased a little bit of it.
he
Yeah, so.
has. So yeah. So
But yeah, Johannes is one of those. And I've said this 100 times. It's like he's just one of those, uh, you know, wide. I mean, he's probably got one of the widest ranges I've seen as far as a vocalist, what he can
hmm.
do. And then he changes the pitch within the song. And I can't remember. I was listening to, trying to remember which album it was. It's one of the last two albums. I can't remember, but it was one of the songs on there, and he changed pitches like 3 times within before he hit the
Hmm.
chorus. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
How in the hell he does that? I have no idea.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing that Avatar, well, at least they shouldn't anyway, but they won't hear it probably from you or I. That's one thing that Avatar more than likely will not get knocked for is their lack of
Mhm.
diversity in their sound.
Yeah. I'm sure, like especially with some of the newer stuff, I could already see somebody saying, "Oh, well, they're getting soft and they're settled out." And I mean, not really. You can go back and listen to some of their older stuff, and it's pretty much online with some of the stuff that they've always done. So um, it's just the stuff you're hearing now. was stuff you didn't hear then because it
Right.
wasn't it wasn't their hits. So
It's an evolution of their
yeah,
sound. It's
right.
an evolution.
Yeah. Which people, you know,
Which
well,
people
that's not
say they
that,
want,
but then
which
they
people,
don't when they
yeah,
change it
yeah,
up.
yeah. People
Uh,
say they want a band to evolve, but when the band evolves,
mm,
they get labeled this, that, and the other thing. Like
yeah,
you said, or sellouts, or
right.
take your pick. But I mean, so fans want to have it both ways at the same time, and you just can't.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but anyway, I was going back to listen to that Queensryche album. They did a cover of Billy Idol's "Rebel Yell." I don't know if you've heard that, but if you haven't,
Um,
you need to listen to that, dude.
I
That was just
I'm pretty sure I did, but
yeah. It's like
I'm gonna have
until
to
they
go back.
got
I'll go back and
yeah
check, but I'm pretty sure I did.
until they got to the chorus, I thought Billy Idol was guest vocalist, guest vocals on it. I was just like, this sounds too much just like him. How in the
Yeah.
hell? And of course, like I said, when they got to the chorus, Todd LaTorre kind of took it into his own. But
That's the thing is you want to talk about an underrated vocalist. I think Todd LaTorre can be on that list.
oh yeah, definitely could be on that list. So I'm actually looking forward to trying to probably wind up going to that show here in Nashville in April. So
Hell, I'd have to go back and look because I can't remember right off the top of my head, but I'm wanting to say Todd LaTorre's solo album from last year was in my top 10. If not, it was on the radar to be.
yeah, it could have been. I can't remember. I didn't go back and listen to that episode. So.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember now, but yeah, he's an amazing vocalist. I think he was a fantastic choice to replace Jeff Tate. So
yeah, Dana just said that he was, Todd LaTorre was an amazing vocalist all the way back to his days in Crimson Glory, which I'm not as familiar with Crimson Glory, but
same.
But yeah, I can definitely.
Well, I mean, I can't really see how his vocal style would have changed too much from then to now. I can't speak to the musical composition right off the top of my head, but I don't see all of a sudden Todd LaTorre would have sounded different just coming over to Queensryche. Right. So I have no reason to believe why Dana wouldn't be correct.
Yeah, and hey, Dana, if you're familiar with that band, are they power metal or Crimson Glory? I'm not real familiar with them. I was just kind of curious. Reason I asked was because Queensryche was, initially a power metal band, so power melodic metal. So they were actually probably one of the bands to try to get that off the ground here in the States. So
more like progressive.
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, probably the same. So it wasn't. So I don't think that was really a too much of a
not too much of a stretch. Yeah.
Yeah, for Todd. So. And another thing I wanted to talk about before we get into the news was I don't know if any of you have seen the video, but I think that Pantera show in Chile, holy shit, man!
that mosh pit for Cowboys from Hell.
Oh my god, no,
good.
20 mosh pits that were out there.
But like
it did like the whole it just looked like a wave of people just jumping up, and having a great time, which is great. I mean, I can't do those things anymore because of
right.
That. So
I will say one thing. We're here in the United States, and heavy metal isn't in the the mainstream of musical genres like it was 3-4 decades ago, which to us is kind of unfortunate, but at the same time it's like it is what it is. It's still our music, and we can enjoy it as we want to. But even having said that, when we go to shows, and Jason, I don't know if you pay a whole lot of attention to this, but like the more shows I go to, especially over the last couple of years since we've had our show, whenever I go to shows, I try to pay attention to what's going on in the crowd as much as I can, even when I'm trying to pay attention to what's going on stage. I don't know the crowd reactions in the United States compared to some of the videos I've seen from that video you're referencing of that concert in Chile, and then the concert festival crowds that you see over in like Europe and stuff like that. Man, we don't hold a candle in general to crowd reactions as compared to the rest of the world. We just don't. I mean, crowds in these other countries, man, it's like they're just they're just like living in the moment, and
Mhm.
you like that, just like that video. It's unreal, just the amount of energy that the crowd gives back to the bands and vice versa. It's just insane. American crowds, they just, with the exception of the Slayer mosh pit that I saw at Ozfest '04, I haven't seen anything comparable to that video in a live setting.
Yeah.
Because like I say, I haven't been to like a million concerts or anything, but
I think the biggest one that I've seen personally was at Blue Ridge 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago. I think it was Blue Ridge. Hold on, let me think, make sure. Yeah, it was Blue Ridge. But it was like 2 years ago. The Anthrax Indians mosh pit was the whole, like, they had like this whole like set fenced in for like the, where you bought the extra, paid the extra money to get up close and personal. That whole thing from the fence to the stage was circle pit.
Was doing the war dance.
I was like, holy shit, that's a huge pit. So,
Yeah.
You're talking probably, a good 2,500 people maybe or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that area. I mean, it was pretty, pretty packed. So,
yeah. Oh, excuse me.
Somebody posted on the Pantera video, so I guess we could say the COVID restrictions are over.
Yeah.
That was a huge crowd too, man. Like,
but if you guys haven't seen that video that Jason's talking about, it is on YouTube. Just go over to YouTube and search Pantera Chile Cowboys from Hell mosh pit or something like that, and you'll be able to find it. It's just this massive fucking almost just cyclone of people in this this mosh pit. It is just insane. I think one of the comments I saw was not a cell phone in sight, and that was actually a good point.
Yeah, that is true. There was a comment about that.
Yeah. So and Dana, I did get your text, by the way, Dana. So.
And I think that's another thing, is I think people, to me, it's like I do that at some points, but it's because more of I wanted to like get a live, I could go back and watch it, because I wanted to like catch something maybe I didn't catch when I was like watching the show, or see how they actually sound live when you're not there, I guess. So it's I do that too, but it's mostly like when we just went and see Machine Head, I only recorded 2 songs, and it was the newer stuff, because pretty much I've already recorded, everything that I want to record seeing bands like that. So,
right. But you do it, but you do it in like little spurts,
Yeah. I mean? It's not like constantly sitting there with your phone out,
Well, hell, Rob, that one dude out, he's like, we're 10 songs in. You've been on your phone the whole fucking time.
Right. It's like, put your phone up, dude. Like his girlfriend had to take it away from him.
Yeah, she did. And hell, even I took like 6 or 8 pictures. Well, maybe 10 or 12 pictures. But I mean, that was it.
Pictures are different than videos.
But I mean,
another thing is I don't see how people can like sit there for 2.5 hours with their hands over their heads, because most people don't know how to record anyway. They got 10. They're already 6'4", then they hold their damn phone 5 more feet over their head so nobody else can see what the fuck's going on. Yeah, which kind of pisses me off, but whatever. But
so, I mean,
it is what it is.
But yeah, I think that's kind of, and I mean, we're not sitting here trying to say that Americans are the only people who have their cell phones out at concerts.
No.
But I mean, it just compared to what I've experienced live, and then compared to what I've seen of some of these concerts overseas, I mean, in all honesty, the difference is like night and day. Most, and of course, we were at the Machine Head show last Friday, and I mean, there were people crowd surfing, and there was a circle pit going and everything, and so it was a smaller venue. So not trying to do an apples to oranges comparison, but from what I've seen, by and large, here in the United States, most people are like, oh, get it on your phone. And like you say, there are a lot of people who will stand there and watch the whole concert through their phones.
Yeah,
I take pictures, you take little video snippets, but by and large, we are experiencing the show. Because you and I, we're standing right next to each other. I mean, we can see what each other's doing. I'll get my phone out, I'll take a picture, I'll put it away. couple more songs go by, like the set lighting changes, and their positions on stage will change, or so I'll be like, I'll take a quick picture of that, put my phone away. So I mean,
I think the thing is we all want to try to get that magazine type cover photo ourselves. You know what I mean? So we don't have to, it kind of makes you proud when you hit that moment, because I've gotten some pretty awesome photos over the years, but
right.
you get that one guitar solo and the smoke's just perfect over the guitarist, that kind of thing. You're just like, oh man, this could be magazine material. Not that you would ever submit it, but I'm just saying, you're like, oh, this is my magazine shot,
Yeah. And I totally get all that. But I mean, talking about the people who, you paid $35 to come see the show, and you're watching it through your phone. Just fucking go watch them. Go watch them play on YouTube, man.
Yeah, but you're talking festival though. I mean, you're talking like you paid $300-$400 to go to this. I mean, it's like, why would you sit there with your phone out the whole time? It's like, and like another thing that I don't get either is, like, if you're paying that much money, and I noticed this when I go to them, is you'll have a certain people that'll sit next to both main stages the whole time. It's like, hey man, you do know, like, there's awesome bands like over here, right? It's like you're sitting here listening to shitty music that you probably don't even care about, just because you're afraid to lose your spot.
Yeah,
that's kind of like, to me, that's a waste of fucking money. But
yeah,
the thing is, when I pay $400, I'm going to see as many bands as I want to see, because I paid that money to go see them. I don't care where I'm at as far as, like, being up close is great. And like, I've never had a problem not getting as close as I wanted to get. So I mean, a lot of people kind of like let you slide through, because they probably as close as they want to get. So till you get up to, like, 4 or 5 rows from the stage, then you get people kind of like, no, I'm motherfucker.
Yeah, that's true.
But
yeah, you do get kind of roadblocked eventually. But I was actually going to mention that, how you and Susie, you guys like to strategize. Okay, we're going to go to this, and this.
Right. Yeah, because if you got 2 bands playing at the same time, you're like, fuck. Well, I've seen this band before, so let's catch 20 minutes of them, and then we'll just go catch the whole set of this band because I've never seen them.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what we did. We caught the whole sets of bands that we didn't. And then, you had Tenacious D, which is, great. I'm not a huge fan of Tenacious D, but it was cool to witness and see it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they were kind of overlapping with, I can't remember if it was Lamb of God. I think it was Lamb of God. They were overlapping just a little. So we didn't want to miss that. We didn't want to miss Lamb of God at all, because we're bigger fans of Lamb of God than Tenacious D. So, right. but like I said, you got those points in the festival where you got like a little bit of time in between what you want to see. So you're just like, we'll check this band out, or, whatever. And then that's the thing that I hated about the last one, was there wasn't a lot of, I guess, like, there was too much competition for like some of the smaller bands, which I didn't really care for, because you had a lot of big name bands going on at like 2, which was kind of like, wow, really? I mean, usually it was kind of later in the day, but I mean, you had like big name bands like, Kill Switch and all these bands going on at like 2 or 3 o'clock. You're like, damn. So then it kind of hurts the bands that are, on the, like I guess what they consider the local stage.
Right.
Because they the setup was just different, I think, this time, because the first time, there was 2 main stages. One was like right when you came in, and then one was like, actually there was 2 on over. So there was 3 main stages and 3 kind of small stages on the first time that we went. And we had Megadeth over here in the first, and then we was like walking all the way around to go see Lamb of God, because they were all the way on the other side. But there wasn't as many bands on that one stage that you wanted to see as it was way over there. So that's how I kind of passing through, going between stages, and that's how I caught like one of the last and Eyes of the Living, because they were playing on that one stage. You had to walk past to get to the other stage, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, this is badass. Hold up for a second. So we would stop and listen to the set, and because we had 20 minutes or so before the other band started. So and that's where you come in with all these bands like like Eyes of the Living. Now we're both big fans of that band, because I stopped and listened, and then I turned you on to them, and so now they're like one of the bands that we follow a lot, and like I said, down to earth guys, and that makes it even more better to like them, because they're they're just everyday guys, and they don't take this thing to the success to heart and become something they're not.
Right. Yeah.
So that's one of the things you got to respect about bands like that. I mean, like I said, the thing you respect about bands is like some of the stuff like that is what you remember about bands. You know what I mean? Like Nonpoint, I'm always going to think of Nonpoint as that band that will do all these festivals and do all these big shows, and then turn around and do a bar for 50 or 100 people, because that's what they are. They're a fan based band.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just look at what happened when they lost their trailer. The fans raised the money for them to get their shit back, to replace their shit. I mean, how many bands could say that? I mean,
and plus you've gotten to hang out and talk wrestling with them too, so that helps.
That's the funniest joke going between us. Is the best tag team in wrestling?
Right? So,
yeah. Anytime Rashid's him and Elias will do a thing and they're arguing, and I'll pick a side or whatever. I said to Rashid, he's right, but except for when he's talking about tag team wrestling, he don't know what he's talking about. But it's funny.
Yeah, and I'm sure not too many people out there have a running joke going with a band. So,
well, I mean, yeah, I mean, and honestly, we've got kind of that with bands that we haven't met, like Devil. I mean,
that's true. The Kevin thing.
Everybody knows Kevin. So
everybody knows Kevin. That's right.
And then now that we just talked to Hex, we got the what the fuck,
exactly.
so that's what I love about the interviews. It's like there's always something there that gets stuck, and it's great to kind of look back on and laugh about it.
Well, hell, you talk about last week. We were talking to Halo Scars. We the running joke is Keegan's going to get grounded. So.
Yeah. Oh man. I see those guys are prepping up for some stuff coming up in a new year too. So hopefully they got some big things coming up. So
well, they said they were going to be in Nashville relatively soon too. So that'll be cool to be able to go up there to see that. So
yeah, and most definitely, I'll definitely be there for that.
Absolutely, hell yeah, man. We may have to try. Depending on the venue, we may have to try to do something. Maybe a little something live. I don't know if it would be like a full-fledged live stream, or maybe we can.
Yeah, but we could do a TikTok or something.
Something like that. Yeah, we'll do something like that
with them or something. So
yeah, so that'd be cool.
Yeah. Well, I guess we've bullshitted enough. I guess we better get into this. Get into the show here, man. 38 minutes in, we haven't even talked about nothing but birthdays. So
yeah. Well, birthdays and the pending end of the year, so
Well, yes, which I got Metal Injection's top 25. They got top 25 albums of 2022 pulled up. They couldn't even do a 10. Look, that's what I'm telling you, man. Like there was so much out, they couldn't even do a 10. So
yeah, here at Metalheads Unite, we have the balls to whittle it down to 10. So
yeah, and the balls to take it in the face from the bands that we've listened to and talk to if they're not on the list. So like I said, no disrespect to any of these bands, because like I said, every band that we talked to on this show is because we enjoyed the album so much that we wanted to talk to them about about it and give them a chance to promote it, and get everybody that hasn't heard it a chance to listen to what goes into the differences too between, like, each band has a different way of going into things. It's pretty cool. And I've actually got some irons in the fire for the first of the year. So hopefully we will kick this thing, start the world tour of 2023 off.
That's right. Yep. Well, I'm still hoping that 2023 is the year that we hit Spain. So.
Yeah, well, yeah, there you go. Yeah, it'd be nice. That would be a great interview, by the way. So
yeah. So.
And
if you've been following the show at all, you may know who I was referencing. So
And Dana put in here, it was a suicidal tendencies was around 94. It was around 1994, 5,000 person pit, and he was in it. So,
Jesus Christ.
I guess, yeah, more power to you, brother. I don't know.
Yeah, no shit.
I mean, well, I don't know if I was like 18 or 20 or something, I'd probably be right in the middle of the shit. But that's it. I'm 47 now, and part of my life beat the shit out of me. So,
Same.
so it's when you go to the chiropractor, the first thing he asks you is, "You ever been in a wreck?" I'm like, "No, I'm not a bad one." So, only against a steel chair table, those kind of wrecks. Yeah.
Well, it all depends.
I know you have back problems too, so it's kind of hard to go out there and jump around and stuff like we used to.
Yeah, no, it's like. Yeah, last week when we were at the show in Nashville, and Rob was like, "Jump!" I was like, "No."
Yeah. I was like, "Let me get on somebody's shoulders and they can jump."
It's like everybody jump. I was like, I can't jump.
I will say this, Rob. If not that you're listening, but please be a little bit more spacious with your commands. So I was just like, I didn't know what I was doing there for a minute. He said, "Bang your head, jump up and down." I'm like, hold up, motherfucker, what am I
doing? And we got probably half a dozen calls for the circle pit.
Oh yeah.
Which, I mean, that always obliges. Always works out. So.
All right, let's jump into this news because we don't have a lot to discuss, but we get through some of that before we do the hitting the road segment's going to be a little bit beefy this week. So
yeah, well, which I would say is a good thing for all of us, because I mean,
more live music, yes, please.
Yeah, got shows going everywhere, so yeah, that's definitely going to be a benefit for us all. So, all right, so starting off, kicking off the current events this week over at blabbermouth.net. Rage Against the Machine bassist Tim Comerford has revealed in a new interview with Spin that he recently had his prostate removed after being diagnosed with prostate cancer. The procedure took place 2 months before the band's recent summer tour, which marked Rage Against the Machine's first set of live dates since in 11 years. Come on, Blabbermouth, do better. Quote, I've been someone that's taken a lot of pride in being in shape and taking care of myself, the 54-year-old musician said, but it's something where either... Okay, all right. Sorry, someone didn't proofread this, and I didn't.
Did they have a stroke writing it or something?
I don't know, maybe. I've been someone that's taken a lot of pride in being in shape and taking care of myself, but it's something where you're either lucky or not. That's the way that they wrote that. The way I just read it was the way that they wrote it. Asked how he has kept a positive outlook throughout the whole ordeal, Tim said, quote, "You can find yourself in a situation like I'm in where it's like, fuck, my whole life changed. With everything that happens to me now, I wonder, am I feeling this way because I have cancer? Am I losing my hair because I have cancer? Whatever it is, it makes me wonder if it's happening because I have cancer. And prostate cancer is a very, very, very tough one because it's connected to your sexuality. It's hard to disconnect from that when you're forced into that situation. It's a brutal psychological journey. I've been trying to find support groups, and it's hard to find people and hard to talk about it. The suffering part of it, the physical suffering after the surgery, I've never felt pain quite like that. I have metal plates in my head and cadaver parts in my body. I've done a lot of damage through sports and mountain biking and this sort of thing. And I've always felt like I had a really high tolerance for pain, and that shit brought me to my knees. After the pain went away, I still haven't really been able to get up, even though I'm working out and doing shit. But psychologically, the damage is severe. It's very hard for me not to break down and get emotional," end quote. Regarding how he found out he was sick, Tim said, quote, "I went to get life insurance, but my PSA numbers were up. I couldn't get it. They wouldn't insure me. At first, the number was very low, like 1 point something. I watched over the course of a year and a half, and it kept elevating further. Eventually, they did a biopsy and found out I had cancer, so they took my prostate out. I had been thinking, well, because they're watching it and let it get to this point, maybe it's not that big of a deal. I blame myself. I should have said my numbers are elevated, and what does that really mean? I should have taken it more seriously. I should have looked into alternate therapy instead of getting sucked in the most disgusting capitalistic machine on the face of the planet, the medical establishment. Now I'm in the situation that I'm in, which is hold your breath for 6 months. It's not a good one and not one that I'm happy about. I'm just trying to grab a hold of the reins. It's going to be a long journey, I hope. My dad died in his early 70s from cancer, and my mom died from cancer in her 40s. Split the difference to 65, and I've got 10 years. I'm trying to get to the 100-song mark. I have some goals now. Songwriting has become a catharsis for me, end quote. So this one kind of hits a little close to home because of what we've found out with our family here lately. But, so kind of never fun for us to have to kind of, talk about this kind of thing. Floor Jansen, she just had her breast cancer thing. Of course, thankfully she's on the road to recovery. Hopefully Tim can kind of do the same thing. Looks like he's got a little bit of a longer journey than Floor did, but it's always good to hear when someone is working their way back. So hopefully Tim can do that. So we're kind of going to keep an eye on this and see how it goes for him. So
yeah, it always sucks that you have to go through those things to get life. Like I don't know. I've had life insurance since my daughter was born because, nothing's ever. We say that a lot. Nothing's ever promised for tomorrow. Definitely is never promised.
Right.
So you wanted to make sure. I wanted to make sure I had something for the kids in case something ever happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
And like I've been paying on this thing for 20 some odd years now. So it's probably pretty beefy. But the thing is you want to make sure you do it. So if you wind up letting that lapse, like now, if I let that lapse and then try to go in, and say they found something, so and then I don't have anything to leave behind, so then you're kind of like stuck. You don't have anything to cover, doctor bills and stuff like that when you die, that kind of thing. So it is like a mental process you got to go through with. Not only did you just get told you got cancer, you told you can't have life insurance. So it's like, okay, so what happens if I do die from this shit?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's got to be tough, man. Thoughts and prayers go out, and hopefully he recovers.
Yep.
Man. Oh man, so from one health scare to another here, I guess. My first story is over from Loudwire. The exploited vocalist Waddy Buchan was rushed to the hospital last weekend after he collapsed on stage from a suspected heart attack during a performance in Bogota, Colombia. It happened as the long-running Scottish punk rock band played the venue La Estrella Roja Calle 66. Yeah, hopefully that's pretty close, according to Blabbermouth. Which I always find these stories crazy because they'll say, according to Blabbermouth, but I'm on Loudwire, so that lets you know that we're not the only people that get our stories from elsewhere. So
that's right. But we always cite sources.
That's right. Buchan, the 65-year-old punk legend, has a history of heart problems, and he has collapsed on stage in the past. Last Saturday, December 10th, the musician seemingly had trouble breathing near the end of the exploited set, collapsing on a third-to-last song. He played two more songs after collapsing on, as setlist.fm noted. Quote, the last gig in Colombia, Waddy had another suspected heart attack, a spokesperson told STV News. He tried playing on, but had to actually stop a couple songs until he eventually collapsed. He got taken away to the hospital in an ambulance, but over 900 people refused to leave the venue until they heard he was all right, end quote. That's the metal people for you right there, the metal family. They want to make sure everything's okay. So they also added, the exploited are held as idols over here, and Waddy is seen as the king of punk. He has kept the punk movement alive when everyone in the press said it was dead. He is actually a living legend, end quote. The exploited have canceled their remaining 2022 tour dates while Buchan recovers. In 2017, the singer was similarly hospitalized with a serious heart condition. 2014, he suffered a heart attack on stage. And the exploited drummer, Willie Buchan, Waddy's brother, was hospitalized for a heart attack last year. So it can be a family inheritance thing, sounds like maybe. Quote, thankfully, I am feeling a little bit better, but still really fucked up. Waddy relayed in a message on Sunday, December 11th. I'm resting in a hotel in Bogota, and we hope to be able to return safely home to the UK tomorrow. Due to doctor's orders, all remaining shows of 2022 have been canceled, end quote. So, like I said, it seems like this guy's, if nothing else, he's going to wind up dying doing what he loves on stage, probably. So, and
I mean, there are definitely worse ways to go out. So
yeah, but I mean, he's already had 3 scares on stage, so he's definitely. I mean, you would think that after the one at 14, you would kind of take it a little more serious and try to keep yourself in shape and watch what you eat or whatever you got to do in those situations. So,
right.
But now whether he did or not, we don't know that, and I'm not speculating he did or didn't.
Right.
But I'm just saying, with that kind of scare, you want to kind of take care of yourself and make sure you're there for if nothing else, to make sure you're there to still put your music out there. So, especially when you got people saying Punk's dead and you're carrying the torch, man. That's like they actually need you. So,
right. Yeah, you want to make sure. I mean, you definitely want to make sure you can be around as long as possible. None of us are going to be here forever, but
right.
you shouldn't expedite the process if you can help it at all. So,
right. Well, what's the highlighter song? Who Wants to Live Forever? So.
Yeah, that's true. All right, staying over at Blabbermouth for one more. UDO, the long-running German metal band, former Accept singer Udo Dirkschneider, parted ways with bassist Tylen Hudrap. Earlier today, Hudrap released the following statement via UDO's social media, quote, "Dear fans, I want to inform you that I decided to leave the UDO band on my own accord. This is completely my decision. I came to it after weeks of careful consideration. After 4 albums, 2001 live album DVD and studio compilation, and worldwide live tours and performances with both UDO and Dirkschneider, I decided that it's time for me to pursue in the metal world. Thanks to all the fans all over the world for the massive support, and good luck to the band on all future endeavors. There is so much more to come. Thanks to everyone again, Tylen." Added UDO, quote, "We wish you all the best for the future, Tylen. We see you somewhere on the road." Former Accept bassist Peter Baltus played bass for UDO on the group's recent European tour. Baltus was filling in for Hudrap, who was hospitalized after nearly collapsing on stage during the band's show in Munich, Germany on September 4th. Baltus made his live debut with UDO on September 9th in Berlin, Germany. Tylen later said that he was suffering from respiratory alkalosis, total hyperventilation, uncontrollable tremors, momentary collapse of body functions, and complete burnout, end quote. UDO's latest album, Game Over, was released in October 2021 via AFM Records. UDO's current lineup includes Udo's son and drummer Sven Dirkschneider and guitarist Andrei Smirnov and D. Dammers. So, somebody else who's kind of looking to move on and do some more things, and probably to do what you just suggested, and trying to look out for yourself health wise, so he can be around a little bit longer. So that's kind of hopefully what he's going to be doing, and just decided he wanted to move on to do some other things. So, but again, one of those amicable splits where, there's no hard feelings,
right.
Everyone's on the same page, which I guess if a band has to move on from somebody, you want it to be that way. Kind of like, Devil Driver
Right.
did the drummer last week. They were super excited for the guy, and he's going to go on and do bigger and better things. So, amicable splits is what you always want if there has to be one.
Right. All right. Well, we're going to keep going with the health issues, I guess.
Over at
Metal Hammer, Ozzy Osbourne has opened up about his ongoing health issues, admitting that he still has trouble walking after his recent back surgery. Speaking to Sirius XM, as reported by Yahoo, the Prince of Darkness notes, quote, "It is so fucking tough because, I want to be out there. I want to be doing it. This fucking surgery this guy did. Fucking hell, you have no idea," end quote. Yahoo also notes that Osbourne expressed uncertainty about his upcoming European tour. Quote again, the thing is, my head is all right, my creativity is all right, my singing okay, but I just can't fucking walk much now, the metal legend adds. He later discusses the surgery, explaining that while it was necessary to improve his long-term quality of life, the surgeon told me if I didn't have the surgery, there would be a good chance I would be paralyzed from the neck down. It's provided some fresh challenges for him. I can't begin to tell you how fucking frustrating life has become, Ozzy says. It is amazing how you go along in life and one stupid thing can screw everything up for a long time. I have never been ill this long in my life, end quote. Poor Ozzy has definitely had a rough go of it
last
little
few
bit.
years. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to kind of go ahead and do this one too. So that one was short, and this one's kind of short. So kind of
Okay, that's cool.
like these two because I know I think I got one more than you do anyway. So
Okay, that's fine.
unless you've added something.
I did add one.
Okay.
It's not super lengthy either. So
Okay. This one was over from Metal Sucks. It was only a matter of time before this happened. Thrash metal legends Metallica have officially been featured in a popular battle royale video game, Fortnite, in their form of an emote. It costs 500 V-Bucks in the in-game currency that equates to roughly $3.50 in real-life money. The emote can be used by 4 different players at once. The person to initiate it picks up a guitar and stands in front of a microphone, doing their best James Hetfield. Up to 3 other nearby players can join in, even if they didn't purchase the Master of Puppets emote themselves. The other players join on the other instruments, giving players the opportunity to do a full band virtual rendition of the song. The introduction of a Master of Puppets emote comes on the back of the song's ridiculously popular placement in Netflix's Stranger Things. In the finale, Eddie Munson uses the power of heavy metal to destroy a demon via the power of the riff. Because of Stranger Things, Master of Puppets catapulted back onto the charts, as did Kate Bush's Running Up That Hill, which was also featured in an episode and became popular on platforms like TikTok. So again, more Metallica news. Who would have guessed?
ho hum yawn.
Yeah, yeah. So, but it's pretty cool to see. To me, I think it's cooler to see that song in general being that popular again, 40 years later almost.
Almost.
So it's kind of crazy to see that, in a
I like it. I like it for 2 reasons. Well, one, because it's metal. We're
right.
metalheads, but 2, it didn't have, obviously nobody did back in 86, but that song never got a chance to get the coverage that it does now because of the technological advances we have.
Right.
There's no way the amount of people that saw that song and that show had the ability to really have access to it way back in 86. So it's kind of cool to see that kind of come around to catch up with, today. So
right. Yeah, so because I had the cassette, and then of course eventually transferred over to CD. So so it's kind of like I've had my hands on a couple of different copies of a lot of their earlier albums actually. So,
yeah. All right, so I'm going over to we're keeping up with the health stuff. It is kind of weird.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Yeah,
it's kind of weird how this kind of played out. But over at Metal Injection,
I'm gonna blame it on Thanksgiving dinners.
Yeah, there you go. Still a little bit of a turkey hangover, like 3 weeks later. Over at metalinjection.net, a GoFundMe has been launched for Vital Remains guitarist Tony Lazzaro as he deals with complications after emergency brain tumor surgery in 2020. According to Lazzaro's wife, Natasha, Tony's immune system is weakened and a recent bout with the flu has only added to his medical bills. The GoFundMe seeks to raise $7,200. You can donate here. There's a hyperlink in the story. Lazzaro is the founding guitarist of Vital Remains and has played on every one of the band's releases. We wish him and his family all the best at this time and hope things improved. That's from the author, but we here want to echo that sentiment. We definitely want to do that. Hello, friends, family, and fans. Natasha here, Tony's wife and caretaker. For those of you that know Tony, he is the main guitarist and one of the founding members of Vital Remains. As you know, also known as Big T or Uncle Tony. Tony is a big sweetheart who has always helped others, cares for his close friends, family, babies, and fellow metal community. He has a strong passion for playing live and touring the world. Now he needs our help. For a brief background on Tony's medical issues, in April of 2020, Tony had an emergency surgery for brain tumor that was hemorrhaging that caused partial loss of his vision. He had multiple surgeries and long 3-month hospital stays for a brain tumor that almost took his life. The tumor damaged his pituitary gland, weakened immune system, partial blindness, and the inability to work. He is not strong enough to tour with Vital Remains at this time. Tony is still weak from his surgeries and is receiving physical therapy treatments to gain strength back for a better quality of life. Recently, due to a weakened immune system, Tony was hospitalized for pneumonia and a severe case of influenza, which made him extremely ill and incoherent. Tony was able to receive emergency medical care and a treatment of antibiotics and is slowly on the mend. This has added to the significant amount of medical expenses Tony has to deal with. Due to his medical issues that began in 2020, Tony has been unable to work and has tried everything to pay household expenses, but the medical expenses and rising cost of living have left it nearly impossible to keep up with. Tony had to pawn and sold his own personal gear to help pay for medical expenses, household bills, and personal taxes. Tony has always been a hard worker. This is difficult for him to ask for help. He misses playing for the fans and music in general. The donations and support will be very helpful. Any amount would be appreciated. We appreciate your love and support in this time of need, end quote. So that fucking sucks that dude had to pawn and sell off all of his gear just to be able to, just to be able to pay to be able to live. Medical expenses aside, which is a completely different, thing, a completely different issue altogether. But just being able to just pay, or he had to sell off all of his equipment just to pay his bills. It's awful. So hopefully, if you guys want to help out with that, like I say, you go find the fundraiser over at GoFundMe. And speaking of GoFundMe, I'm gonna kind of piggyback off of this one too, if you don't mind. Because like I say, this one's not well. Actually, if I decide to read the whole thing, it's going to get a little long, but I'm not going to read the whole thing. Going over to the PRP, I launched add progressive sludge outfit Irist's fall European tour to the alarming examples of the financial uncertainty and logistical challenges medium to smaller bands face while touring in the current climate. That outfit were recently left with little choice but to launch this GoFundMe, again, there's a hyperlink in the story, to try to recoup the cost from their decision to go ahead with a European UK tour alongside Pallbearer and Elder. That trek ran from September through November of this year and was originally booked and announced a year ahead of time. While Irist updated their budget for the run and ultimately expected to tour at a loss, they did not expect the debt to spiral into the tens of thousands. The increased volatility of transportation and fuel costs in Europe, along with unexpectedly sluggish merch sales, wound up leaving the band some $20,000 in the hole. The Atlanta native said of the situation late last month, quote, "Friends, we need your help. As a multitude of other artists have spoken out on, the economics of touring have become grueling. Ticket and merch sales have fallen while the basic costs of accommodation, transportation, and fuel are at an unprecedented high. We could not wait to get to Europe this fall and tour in support of Order of the Mind. We planned a realistic budget based on current data and were prepared to go out of pocket, but the current climate devastated our finances and we returned home with a loss that is infinitely higher than anticipated. Our management have launched a GoFundMe to help us recover our unexpected losses. Any contribution helps, and whether or not you are able to donate at this time, we appreciate you and your support immensely." End quote. The band's management commented at the time, quote, "Like many artists in 2020, Iris's debut LP, Order of the Mind, and dreams of touring were sidelined by the pandemic. After a 2-year hiatus and multiple schedule changes, Iris were finally able to traverse Europe, opening for Elder and Pallbearer. Although the tour was immensely successful and the band won over many fans on the 45-day run, the current economic climate devastated the band's personal finances. Iris chose to tour knowing that they would not make a profit. In fact, they expected to pay out of pocket and had a realistic budget planned with the current data on expected costs. However, as many artists have spoken out on, I already read that. Iris was humbled by the response to their music in Europe. This tour reinforced their passion and commitment. While they had hoped to weather this economic storm, the band needs your help in attempting to recover the unexpected costs from their tour. Please help support them. Any contribution helps. So yeah, just another example. Like even the story said, just another example of how all this shit is taking its toll. I mean, we've talked about it once or twice. It's bands like this who know they have to come out of pocket. They're going ahead and biting the bullet and doing it anyway. But I mean, it's even jumped up and gotten bands like Anthrax on multiple.
Right.
So I mean, it's affecting everybody. I mean, hell, and it trickles down to people like Jason and myself. I mean, the price of gas, it bites everybody in the ass, really, whether it's directly or indirectly. So, I can only really imagine how hard it is to, should we or shouldn't we? And then they decided to go on this tour, and now they're 5 figures in debt. So,
well, I mean, that's one thing that I feel like I'm lucky about working from home, right now, is because of the gas. It's like, man, at least I don't have to pay all that money to drive to Nashville every day. So,
right. Yeah, and want to say good morning to our friend Victor. He is here in the chat with us. So good morning to Victor.
And he shared a link to an album. He said that
so we're gonna
thrash metal band from Spain there. So
so there's the, and we're 100% sure who the band is yet, because we just have the link on the screen, so it'll kind of be a surprise for everybody. So we'll definitely check that out.
Hey Victor, share that on the group page too, please. That way I'll actually check that out after we get off the show here. So
yeah, I will do the same. So that is actually all the current events news that I had for this week. So
all right, so I got 2 more, one short, one long. So this one over from Blabbermouth. Motionless in White has canceled its previously announced appearance in Brazil, including this weekend's Knotfest Brazil festival, due to widespread and serious illnesses within the band and crew.
More health.
Yeah, right. Earlier today, the Chris Motionless, I don't know how to say his last name, is Chiruli or Caruli, one or the other. Fronted, I call him Chris Motionless. So
there you go.
Fronted Outfit released the following statement via social media. Sao Paulo fans are waiting. We are writing to inform. God, I can't read today. We are writing to inform you that we will be postponing our performance in Brazil until 2023 due to widespread and serious illness amongst our band and touring crew. To make it up to you, we have already begun working on returning to South America in a very exciting way next year. Quote, we know you will enjoy Knotfest and Bring Me the Horizon shows, even though we will not be there, but we are very sorry for the bad news and look forward to knowing we will see each other in 2023. Thank you, happy holidays, and see you soon, end quote. Earlier in the month, Motionless in White scrapped its appearance in Tucson, Arizona after Motionless came down with a upper respiratory infection. Motionless in White's tour mates Ice Nine Kills, Black Veil Brides, and Atreyu went ahead with the concerts as scheduled. So man, just all that stuff's just striking Motionless all in the last few months here. So hopefully they can get a little break there and get back to doing their normal stuff there. So then this one's kind of interesting story. I was just going to kind of like cover it as a headline, but then I got to read it and I thought, man, I got to do the whole story because it's just so much involved. So this one from Blabbermouth as well. According to Billboard, a California judge has ruled that Lloyd's of London doesn't cover Metallica for financial losses suffered when the legendary heavy metal act was forced to postpone 6 shows in 2020 because of the pandemic. The lawsuit stems from the cancellation of Metallica's 6-date tour of South America in April of 2020. Just weeks prior to the tour's scheduled launch, COVID-19 related travel restrictions were enacted in all parts of the world, giving Metallica no choice but to postpone the dates. According to Metallica's complaint, which was filed in June of 2020 in Los Angeles Superior Court, the band's standard cancellation, abandonment, and non-appearance insurance policy with Lloyd's of London was denied by the insurer, which cited the policy's communicable disease exclusion. The lawsuit called the move an unreasonably restrictive interpretation of the policy and alleged breach of contract. Metallica argued that Lloyd's cannot conclusively say that the pandemic is the efficient proximate cause of the cancellations because there are other adequately alleged causes that are covered under the policy. The complaint alleged the travel restrictions, the duty to mitigate damages, the need to flatten the curve, and stay-at-home orders all caused the show's cancellations. November 30th decision obtained by Billboard, Los Angeles Superior Court Judge Holly J. Fuji disagreed with Metallica's arguments, writing the travel restrictions which caused the concert cancellations were a direct response to the burgeoning COVID-19 pandemic. The evidence demonstrates that the COVID-19 pandemic spurred the travel restrictions to South America and restrictions on public gatherings. COVID-19 pandemic was therefore the efficient proximate cause of the concert's cancellations. Shortly after Metallica filed the lawsuit, the Lloyd's representative clarified via a press statement, Lloyd's is not an insurance company. It oversees and regulates a market of independent insurers. For that reason, we have no information on any specific policy or lawsuit, and in any event are not authorized to comment on matters in litigation. In its suit, Metallica acknowledged Lloyd's as a market in which independent insurance underwriters join together syndicates to sell insurance mainly through brokers under the umbrella of the Lloyd's brand name. Metallica sought unspecified compensatory damages as well as a declaration of the rights and obligation of the parties. This was not the first time Lloyd's of London has been involved in a lawsuit related to cancellation of major rock concerts. Back in 2016, Foo Fighters settled their lawsuit against the world famous 336-year-old insurance market on claims related to several shows scrapped during the band's 2015 world tour. Because it was dismissed with prejudice, the Foo Fighters were barred from refiling the case on the same claim. Terms were not disclosed. So, more Metallica news. Unfortunately, not good on their part, but so,
right.
Anytime you're dealing with lawyers, though, is I always say lawyers is the reason we have so many laws because they find ways around the damn things. So then you got to redo them. So,
yeah.
But like I said, you hire a lawyer to get you either off the hook or compensated or whatever. So they do what they have to do to get that done. So
yeah, that's true.
And which is, I don't know how they, you gotta have a pretty tough, or I guess not have a conscience at all if you're a lawyer, but because I don't know if I can live with myself for some of the stuff they do. But
yeah. Especially like criminal defense attorneys. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I could kind of see, the arguments with both of that, but I mean, at that point, Metallica should have said, you know what, just fuck it, screw it. It ain't like you lost any money according to what we've read recently about
right
your tour profits. So
so what was the amount of money involved in the story? I can't remember.
For what in this story?
Yeah,
I don't think it said an amount.
Oh, did it not say?
I didn't.
That must be why I couldn't remember it because it wasn't in there.
It didn't say anything about an amount. It was just
okay.
They just ruled against them, so there never was.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. It said unspecified damages is what they were suing for.
Oh, okay. Okay. Never mind.
I guess if you didn't get awarded, it don't matter. So.
Well, that's true. That's very true.
All right,
but you're right. It's not like they needed the money. That's true.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think it was about the money. I think it was about they were already prepped and ready to go on this tour. They lost money because they already had everything in place to go, and then of course they can't control what the government does. So
exactly.
Maybe you should sue the government. I mean, Ted Nugent would probably jump on board with you.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah, probably.
Anyway, I got some other headlines here. Rex Brown is feeling better after catching COVID and will be ready for the 2023 Pantera shows. I don't know if you've seen that, but he was had been off the last couple there. So
yeah, they had.
I didn't see who filled in. Did you see who filled in?
I did see who it was. I can't remember the name of who it was, but it was somebody that it was. I'm wanting to say it was the bass player for Philip Anselmo and the Illegals because they were doing those Pantera sets, so it was somebody that was already familiar with the songs that could literally just step right in.
Right.
But I can't remember the name.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. I actually got to see that when they did the Pantera sets with Phil and the Illegals. So, like I said, it was actually pretty cool to actually. It was pretty close. It was close enough for me, anyway. So.
Yeah.
Right. Deftones fans will be eager to know. Chino Moreno says that the band is chipping away at new tunes, so we'll be looking forward to a new Deftones album next year. So, Nuclear Blast welcomes back Hammerfall as they receive a Diamond Award for past work. Hey, here's a Diamond Award, and by the way, we want you back. So,
right. Yeah.
Since you went Diamond, we'll take you back.
Yeah, you gotta love these. You gotta love these You got to love these hypocritical record labels.
Well, I mean, I guess that's why a lot of these bands are doing independent stuff, man. It's because
Yeah.
they don't have to deal with all that shit. So.
Yeah.
Children of Bodom's final concert will be released as a live album. That'll be interesting. I wouldn't mind hearing that. So, you can now share your Spotify Wrapped results on Snapchat. So if you need to know how to do that, you can swing over to Spotify's website or Snapchat, and they'll tell you how to do that. I don't know if there's any special way of doing it, but there you go. I don't do Snapchat, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. That's one of the ones that I don't. Hell, it took us long enough to get onto TikTok, let alone.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I don't really shit between Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. I'm busy enough. I don't even do a whole lot with our Twitter account. So I mean, it's just kind of got to prioritize, really, and Snapchat really isn't on the radar. So,
a fan breathed fire in a Pantera pit and acts like it's totally normal. So, I don't know if you've seen that video. It was pretty crazy.
I didn't. I saw the story. Didn't see the video.
I don't know how he got that shit in the venue. That's what's crazy. It's like
you may not want to know how he got it in the venue.
Well, that is true. Yeah, I don't know why he'd be breathing it. I'm just saying.
That's true.
Fan breathes fire in Pantera pit, says smelled like ass. I don't know.
That's probably the corrected headline.
That's corrected, yeah.
That's what it should have said.
Someone dressed as Santa and handing out ghost merch in L.A. I thought L.A. had enough trash out there. I'm just kidding. The naked Blink 182. What's my age again? Funko Pop dolls are here. That's pretty. Naked Funkos. Who knew? I want to see my Ron Jeremy one now, so you can do naked naked.
There you go. Yeah.
Ron Jeremy with his own stand. Oh wait.
Yeah. It's just a dick, So.
Yeah. Mike Patton tries to destroy a drone with Mr. Mungle at Knotfest. Another drone incident there. So I think these bands are just going to start showing up on stage with bats and just start playing baseball with these damn things.
Good. Good. I'd be all for it.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, you got to know what's what, though, because like I said, a lot of these people that are working for these magazines and publications are taking pictures of this stuff like that now instead of getting all up into the pits and stuff like that. So you got to kind of be careful what you're damaging, because if you're damaging somebody that's there to do that, then you're probably looking at having to pay some punitive damages for tearing up their shit because they have access to take pictures and stuff however they seem fit. So
I mean, moving forward that'll be true, but I don't think that was the case here with Mike Patton.
No, I think there was somebody trying to see the damn concert for free that wasn't even in it. Or, that's the thing. I think a lot of people take advantage of that because they know photographers do it. Yeah. So they say, "Oh, well, people just think I'm a photographer. I'll just watch the show." Like,
yeah. See, that's gonna have to be the thing. Is like what they'll have to do. What they'll have to do is they'll have to do something like, all right, you're going to be on stage, and there's more than likely going to be like, they'll have to put like a number on it. Okay, there's going to be a possibility of like up to 4 drones flying around at any one time. If there's a drone that's got like a insert color here, red tag or a pink tag or an orange tag, there's going to have to be some way for the band to be able to distinguish. All right, this is one that I agreed to be here. This is some schmuck that's trying to like skirt the rules. There's going to have to be some agreed upon way of the bands being able to identify. All right, this is the press. This is what we agreed to. This is not. So.
Well, no, it just needs to go back to the way it used to be, and you get your press pass, and you get up real close and personal with the fucking band, or don't do it at all. I mean,
well, obviously that would be the way I would like for it to be, but I don't know. If it stays that way, then cool. I'm all for that. I don't think. I think because there's enough area in that little runway between the barricade and the stage anyway.
Yeah,
for people to take pictures.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm kind of like you. There's really no reason for drones to have to be like all up in their business and everything else.
Well, I
You
mean,
know,
it's already
granted they're able to get some cool shots. I'll admit that, but at the same time, you know, just
it's distracting. It is to
it
the
is
band.
distracting. And it's, you know, it is a safety risk. I mean, what if someone forgets how to fly the damn thing and it takes a header into one of the band members' face?
True.
So yeah, I mean, just, you know.
All right. Next up, we had Tool are releasing a collectible fetus skull just in time for Christmas. So,
Yeah.
that's
What do you get for the person who has everything?
a fetus skull. Yeah.
Yeah, there you
Nightwish's Floor Jason announces the debut solo album Paragon. So evidently she's back into full swing of things there.
Probably pretty close, which is good.
Yeah. Ex-Diller Escape and vocalist Greg Puciato. I don't know how he pronounces his last name, but will release his debut solo live album, on December 20th. So that's going to be a release coming out next week. It looks like so. We had Cobra Spell, formerly known as Crypta, signs to Napalm Records. Why they changed their name, I don't know, but that's.
I didn't even know they changed their name. Holy shit,
I didn't either. So I read this. I'm just like, wait, what?
Yeah, that's actually news to me. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Maybe they had to change it to time or something. I don't know, but that's kind of weird. Lamb of God releases new live film, Lamb of God live in Portland. So we get some live film there from Lamb of God. Kimara has no plans for a new record or more reunion shows. So whatever you're getting festival-wise is probably all you're going to get from those guys. So
sounds like it. Yeah,
catch them while you can. So
yeah, they're going to be like a Pokemon. So
yeah, right. Fear Factory's next tour will be in a van because the cost of touring is making it impossible to make any money, says Dino Cavares. So there you go. Like everybody's going to be in the van. So
yep.
Not I'm in a band. I'm in the van now. So
that's right.
Left to Die, ex-Death, to perform Leprosy in full on the 2023 European tour, which is pretty cool. I don't say I know why I ever realized or just forgot about that. I guess that Left to Die was ex-Death members, but and then Bleeding Through, which is a band that I follow a lot, are working on new material as well. So man, 2023 is shaping up to be big already. So
yep. And I am okay with that.
Oh yeah, man. We definitely knew that it was going to be a couple of big years after the fact that the pandemic had everybody shut down indoors for a year and a half. So we kind of felt like that that we were going to see a lot of album releases because everybody was just locked up and recording. So
yep.
So here we are. We're going into this last one here for Metal Injection's Best of 2022, the best albums of 2022 they have here. So let's see. This is top 25, right? So we recently named our top 20 albums of 2022, but now it's your turn. Through the end of November and beginning of December, we opened up a fan poll for everyone to vote on their favorite albums, and this is how everyone voted.
Okay, so this is a reader's poll.
Kind of, yeah. So
okay.
So I'm gonna start with 25 and go down. At 25, Chat Pile, God's Country, which I don't even know if I've listened to that. So 24 was Allegion, Damnum. I do think I remember listening to that one.
I think I actually think I listened to that one too.
Yeah, I think you actually did. I think you're the one who did the review on it. So.
I may have. I
think you gave it a pretty good rating, so that's why I went back and listened to it. So 23, kind of agree that this one is not where it needs to be because it was way better than this. But 23 was The Halo Effect, Days of the Lost. Then we had 22 was Bad Omens, The Death of Peace of Mind. 21 was Thought Crimes, Altered Past. Number 20 was Ozzy Osbourne, Patient Number 9. 19 was Ripped to Shreds. It's in Japanese, so I have no idea what it says.
Okay.
Number 18 was Tamarum, Ash in Realms of Stone Icons. Not familiar with that one either.
No.
So, 17 was Undeath, It's Time to Rise from the Grave. 16 was Revocation, Netherhaven. Sorry, I didn't see the A in there. Netherhaven. Number 15, which is me and you both probably going to snarl at this, but number 15 was Machine Head of Kingdom and Crown.
15?
Yeah, I was just like, what the fuck? But, okay. Number 14 was Origin Chaosmos. Don't know that one either. Number 13 was Ramstein Zeit. Is it Zeit?
I think it's Zeit. Yes.
Then number 12
it was a good album. It was a good.
It was, yeah. I can probably. I mean, you could definitely make some cases for it being in the top 10. I think. 12 was Slipknot, The End So Far.
At 12?
Yeah.
That's probably that might be appropriate in the vicinity for this year. 12.
Well,
you're right around them somewhere.
Not with the bands in front of it. But,
okay. You're probably right about that, but considering 12 is as far as we've gotten, okay.
11 was Ruby the Hatchet. Fear is a Cruel Master, which I'm not familiar with that either.
No.
Number 10 was Meshuggah Immutable.
Okay.
And I don't know if I listened to the whole album. I think I did. I'd have to go back and listen to it again to see if it deserves a top 10 ranking. But
I actually think I did listen to the whole thing, but
I don't remember a lot about it. So
I'm gonna have to go. That's gonna be one of the ones I get to also.
Then we had 9 as Zeal and Ardor with a self-titled album there.
Yeah.
8 was
I know of them, but I didn't listen to it. But based on what I know, I have a hard time with it at 9. But that's just me.
Yeah. Then 8 was Megadeth, The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead. Which
that's low.
Yeah.
8. It was 8. Well, I don't know. Maybe. Okay. I'm not gonna bitch too much about it being at 8.
Yeah. When I'm doing these album reviews, I'm doing them cover to cover. So if Megadeth don't make it, you know why? Those 2 songs. Just why didn't. But number 7, which I don't agree with, is Lamb of God, Omens. That definitely should be higher than that. But then we had 6, An Abstract Illusion, Woe. We had 5, Shine Down, Planet Zero.
Okay.
Yeah. This one.
Okay.
Well, it gets better. Number 4 is 96 Bitter Beings, Synergy Restored. Number 3 was Lorna Shore, Pain Remains. Number 2 was Number 2 was Alter Bridge, Pawns and Kings.
Okay. All right.
And number 1 was Ghost, Imperial.
No, God damn it, no. God, no.
I thought it said metal albums, but I could be wrong. Man.
Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. That they are. They absolutely are. But if there is one thing that I promise is that Ghost will not be our album of the year.
Yeah, it won't even be in the list.
It's not going to be on mine. That's the only hint I'm giving is Ghost will not be on my top 10.
Yeah. So I go back because I don't remember if I talked about this or not, but the 20 albums that they picked, I don't know if they don't have them numbered, so I'm not sure if they're in order or not. But these are their top 20 picks though. Architects, The Classic Symptoms of a Broken Spirit. Author and Punisher, Crueler. Bad Omens, The Death of Peace of Mind. Bleed from Within, Shrine, which is one of the albums I've been listening to this week to try to catch up on. Cave In, Heavy Pendulum. Clutch, Sunrise on Slaughter Beach.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of Clutch.
I mean, they got some stuff. It's okay, but Decapitated, Cancer Culture. Ghost Imperial was on their list as well. Lamb of God, Omens was on there. Lord of Shore, Pain Remains. Meshuggah, Immutable. Moontooth, Photograph. Norma Jean, Death Rattle, Sing for Me. Phobophilic, Enveloping Absurdity.
Just no respect for personal space at all. What are you doing, Cat? Not on the keyboard. Not on the keyboard.
Porcupine Tree, Closer, Continuation. Revocation, Netherhaven there, Netherhaven again. Spite, Dedication to Flesh. Summerland's Dream Killer. Undeath, It's Time to Rise from the Grave. Zeal and Ardor, subtitled there. And that was their 20. So okay. No Megadeth, no Machine Head, none of that.
Well, so my top 10 is going to be different.
Yeah, mine too. I would say my top 3 is going to be surprising even to you. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I will.
Well, maybe not all of them, but at least a couple will be.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll find out on New Year's Eve. So
yeah, we got another 2 weeks to prep. So that. Then again, the lineup may change between now and then because
that's true.
I may go back and relive some albums. I'm actually listening to that Trauma album right now. So who knows?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I know exactly what you mean.
So I know there's a couple of more I'm wanting to check out to try to play some Rancor is one of the other ones that I remember liking throughout the years. So like I said, there were so many good ones, man. It's gonna be hard.
Yeah. And see, that's the thing though, is like we've talked about it on the show before. This whole thing that we got going on, it's literally just the two of us. Yeah. I mean, that was Metal Injection, right? That we just went through. Metal Injection. Yeah. Okay, Metal Injection. I don't know. We have no idea what their staffing situation looks like, but I guarantee you it's more than 2. So
because I'm sure they got. I'm pretty sure they got like a guy because I know there's one of the guys on there that all he does is death metal reviews, and so I'm sure he's a deth metal fan. So
and that's
that's great. We don't have that, so.
Right? That's fine. So.
Once we make money, we'll hire Victor to do that. So,
right? Yeah. That's right. Yeah. But so for right now, it's just the two of us doing this. So we listen to as many albums as we can, of course, but like we've said on more than one occasion, this isn't our full-time job. So, I mean, we have to, we get to as many albums as we're able to get to. So, I mean, a lot of those albums that, especially on the fan, on the fan vote, some of those bands I've never even heard of, but then you got people out there who voted for them to be in their top 20. That's just how it is, different strokes for different folks. Really,
it didn't say how many people voted either. So I mean,
well, that's true. Didn't have the poll. It didn't have the poll numbers. It just had the poll results. That's true. Yeah. So
it just could be like 10,000 people or something. So
well, still, that's more people than what we got than we've got doing research for us. Yeah. So, but again, it always, and we went through the same thing last year. We disagreed with. Yeah. We disagreed with a lot of these other outlets last year, but just
well, the thing is yours and mine aren't even the same. So it's kind of
right.
Like a lot of it's going to be, I'm pretty sure we're going to have a lot of the same albums in there, but they're going to be in different spots according to what we think they should be at. So, and like I said, it's just a personal opinion thing. So it's kind
of and the funny thing too, just talking about you and I. We haven't even listened to the exact same amount of albums this year. So I mean, so that's the thing is there's a better than average shot of you having an album on your list that I didn't even listen to, just because of, just time in general or focusing on my own part of the show. So, I mean, so yeah, there's probably going to be some similarities, but I mean, that's because, of the bands that, we researched, whether it be for the show or, some of these, some of the worldwide names being on the, being on the list because of the albums that, you're talking about the Machine Heads, the Megadeth, the Lamb of Gods, those are the heavy hitters that had new albums come out this year. But then, we had 10, 12 guests. So we had to do research on those bands together. So we have experience with those albums between us. We have experience with the quote unquote, the mainstream guys. But at the same time, there's going to be bands that I listen to that you didn't, and vice versa. So,
right. I want to extend a invitation out to Dana and Victor too. Like, you guys be thinking about this for the end of the review, and I want you guys to try to place your favorite albums of the year too. So.
Oh, that'd be interesting. Yeah, if you guys want to, get in on that, you're more than welcome. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I guarantee.
Well, the reason I said that because I know Dana's on the Metal and Tats, and then Victor has Hard and Heavy, so they have their own platform already. So. They have their own pages and everything, so that kind of gives a couple of different perspectives besides ours.
Yep.
So, I always like to see what other people think too, because
absolutely. Well, it's always a great. I was going to say debate topic, but it's not even really a debate.
No,
like
because it's opinionated.
Right. It's just an opinion. So yeah, but it definitely creates a great discussion, and what it does is, it gives, like, we give each other, bands to go listen to. But I mean, Victor, like on a weekly basis, it seems like anyway, and he did it already today, gave us a pointer of someone to go check out, so working together with, fans or, friends of ours who have their own platforms going on, like Dana, Dana and Victor, to be specific, we're working together with other metalheads on other metalhead platforms to kind of move the genre forward as best we can with the platforms that we have. So there's no reason for us not to work together with these guys, because, we're all fans, we're all friends. So there's no reason to be like, we're focusing on our own page, you stay over there. That's self-defeating.
Yeah. Right.
So there's no reason, like, Victor comes over and he's like, hey, check out this band, or hey, I'm going to be at this concert, I'm going to be live streaming. And then we share the live stream because we're all doing this together, Hell, if it wasn't for the fact that we met Victor, there's a pretty good chance that Victor wouldn't have known about the Tennessee Metal Devastation Festival.
Right.
Because I told him about it. So, no one knows everything. And if everyone knows something and everyone works together, everyone knows more. Everyone sees more, hears more, gets to experience more. So it makes zero sense for us not to work together with Victor and Dana, or, or anybody else, any other friends that we've made with this show, including the bands that we have interviewed.
Well, the thing is, it's like we share information. Okay, it's great, but it's going to go further when Victor shares it and then Dana shares it.
Exactly.
So you got three people sharing the same info.
Yes.
In three different groups. So
yeah. Especially in the instance of Victor, we've had our membership bolstered by the fact that he has a lot of friends in the South American market. So a lot of them have joined our page. So, but he still has, as far as Dana and Victor and us, Victor has more of the South American presence than us, even though he has kind of given us some of that presence. He's kind of shared it with us, but he has more of a foothold in South America than we do, because that's where he's from. He knows more people from there than we do. But again, we're all working together. He has kind of helped us out, so
and the comment he just posted is what I love about Victor, because Victor is, if you follow us or him, Hard and Heavy, that Victor posts a lot of live stream shows.
He does.
And some of the live stream stuff that he's done has been, it's pretty, it's pretty different genres. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he's not really, he's been to death metal shows, he's been to, just heavy metal shows, he's been to progressive metal shows, he's been to all these kinds of shows, and then he just asked me about Tesla. It's
Mm-hmm.
like really,
Yep.
which is a band we grew up on,
Yes, we did.
not necessarily heavy metal, but definitely hard rock, And he said, I know Tesla's going to be announced for a show in the 2023 Monsters of Rock Cruise Festival. This, along with Monsters on the Mountain Fest in Gatlinburg, are usually announced together. However, I didn't see any announcement for the festival in Gatlinburg and only for the cruise in Florida. I will appreciate if you can find any additional info because I'd like to know if Tesla will be in Gatlinburg as well.
Yeah, we'll take a look. We'll take a look at that, Victor.
Yeah, if you want, give me just a minute. I'll go through my hitting the road and I'll give Chris a chance to go through his and I'll look that up for you. So see if I can find any.
Yeah. But see, that's just a perfect example right there of the two of us.
Right.
Jason and I, our group working together with Victor's group, trying to help each other out. There's no reason for us to compete with each other. We're all trying to do the same thing. There's no reason for us to be competitive.
Well, why? Because we're not making any money off of what we're doing. So it's not like, well, I got to cut this person. I mean, even if we were, but I'm just saying, it's not like, hey, we got to cut this guy out so we can make money. No, that's not how it works.
Man.
You build. The thing is we want to build people up with us. We don't want to. We don't want to be built up and help each other.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't want to be. I don't want to build. Use these people to build up. Something big and then be like, no, fuck those guys. No, I want to bring them with us. I want to build them up with us. So no, we don't know where this is going to go. We don't know the future. This could turn out to be something big in the next 5 years, or we may still be doing the same thing we're doing now, which is fine. I don't care.
Yeah, but, both are fine. Yeah. But there's no reason to not help out, like, and we're just talking about this in the context of just a bunch of metalheads. There's no reason not to help a fellow metalhead out. There's no reason to not help.
Yeah. And who knows? This may be something big that we all wind up working on together on a bigger project at some point. Who knows? It's like, and then
ideally, yeah.
And I bring up Decibel Geek as well because they're friends of mine and of the shows. So, and they're more of the Ricky Rackman era rocks. I mean, they cover a lot of those type bands that we don't talk about a lot, which was, like I said, it was kind of cool to be on that show because it's an era of music we don't talk about as much on our show because we're mostly trying to push new music on people. And they actually do have two separate shows and they do cover a little bit of new stuff, not as much as we do, but they do cover a little bit. But anyway, that's what I'm saying. Like, all of us work together. We're none of us are making a killing doing this thing. So it's like, Chris puts, from Decibel Geek puts his own money into creating the Rockin' Pod, which is crazy to think. I never knew that he did that until this past year when I was talking about it with Aaron, and Aaron's like, yeah, Chris funds all that. And I'm like, what? Like, how is he able to put this together? But it's cool that he is. I mean, he flies out to LA and does all this stuff and, talks to people and gets everything going. It's crazy that he puts this together for other and he's doing it for other podcasters. He's not really doing it for the bands. He's getting all these people into the meet and greets and stuff like that to help your podcast. If you got Bruce Kulick from Kiss on your podcast, you're probably going to get a few extra views or listens. So
yeah.
Anyway,
I'm actually looking forward to going to that in 2023.
Yeah, I hopefully am going to buy our tickets to that next week. So
all right, just let me know. Yeah, I know we talked about it already. So
yeah. So, but anyway, going over to hitting the road, I am going to be talking about mostly festivals today, and then let Chris take over with the normal.
Yeah,
so we had a lot of festivals announced their headliners and all that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll kick this one off. Hellfest 2023 will take place between June 15th and 18th in Clisson, France, and will feature every single band that currently exists. Seems like it anyway.
I'm telling you. I mean,
Hellfest 2023's headliner includes Kiss, Motley Crue, Iron Maiden, and Slipknot, with support from everyone like Porcupine Tree and Amon Amarth, Parkway Drive, and In Flames, plus over 170 other bands. It's a lot. So,
It is a lot.
But I didn't like name them all, but I did kind of narrow a little bit of it down to bands that we kind of would know when we heard. Well, actually, I don't know. Maybe I did. Oh no, never mind. I was like, they were running together. I was like, damn, did I? But yeah, anyway, so you get Iron Maiden, Kiss, Motley Crue, Def Leppard, Slipknot, Pantera, Hollywood Vampires, Alter Bridge, Amon Amarth, Parkway Drive, Sum 41, Within Temptation, Coheed and Cambria, Elegant Weapons, British Lion, The Choir Boys, Pussifer, Beast in Black, Riverside, Evergrey, Hate Breed, Hollywood Undead, Horror, Do or Die, Architects, In Flames, I Prevail, Code Orange, Papa Roach, Motionless in White, Nothing More, Escape to Fate, Vended, Powerwolf, Arch Enemy, Asking Alexandria, Fever 333, Bloodywood, Cobra the Impaler, Tenacious D, Incubus, Electric Cowboy, Hailstorm, The Distillers, Thunder Mother, Skinned, Fishbone, Ludwig von 88, Rancid, Flogging, Less Than Jake, Syndrome 81, Black Flag, Municipal Waste, Stray from the Path, Propane, Mind Force, Spirit World, Zulu, The Ghost Inside, Rise of the North Star, Amity Affliction, Cane Hill, Paleface, End, Resolve, Beyond the Sticks, Celeste, Today is the Day, The Cult, Primitive Man, Weed Eater, Hams Ali, Bong Gripper, I like that name, Clutch, Monster Magnet, Earthless, The Obsessed, Crowbar, Spirit Adrift, Melvins, Dance with the Dead, Legion of Doom, Catatonia, Hypocrisy, Candlemass, Nightfall, As I Lay Dying, Suffocation, Bloodbath, Aborted, Unearthed, Full of Hell, Meshuggah, Voivod, Lorna Shore, Born of Osiris, Go Ride, Loathe, Pestifer, Testament, Dark Angel, Exodus, Vector, Schizophrenia, Behemoth, Dark Funeral, Hakari for the Sky, Imperial Triumphant, Black Braid, Venom Inc., Gorgoroth, and 1914, just to name most of it.
I was about to say, no way you're going to say just to name a few.
Yeah.
And Victor just said that you just mentioned Black Braid. He said they are going to be the first Native American black metal band to play at the festival next year. So
that is fucking awesome, dude.
That is amazing.
That is great.
That's fantastic.
I love hearing stuff like that, man.
I do too.
All right, like if that wasn't enough, Inferno Metal Festival Norway 2023 will take place at the Rockefeller John D venue in Oslo, Norway, between April 6th and 9th. Sorry, Inferno has just announced its 4-day lineup, which includes the Mighty Emperor, the folk metal stylings of Amorphous, the punkish black metal of Watain, and the progressive rock mastery of Elder, plus many more. So on the 6th, they didn't list all of them; they just kind of narrowed it down for me, so thank God. April the 6th, you're going to have Emperor, Cannibal Corpse, Dark Funeral, Mork, Necromantheon. There we go. I'll get it right in a minute. Nervosa, Mutilated Tyrant, 1914, Storm Ruler, and Ingested. On April 7th, you got Amorphous, Godflesh, Wolves in the Throne Room, Odium, Hakari for the Sky, Massacre, Lily Refrain, Darvaza, Holder, Beaten to Death, and Omnia Moritor. April 8th, you got Watain, Nile, Arcturus. Man, Arcturus. Okay. VMod, Garia, Dwal, Wayfarer, Nadir. You're going to have a lot of probably bands from over there. That's going to be hard to pronounce. But Blot Him and Welcome to Hell. April 9th, you got Elder, Abath, Unleashed, Crowbar, Flesh Meadow, Octo Hawk, and Filth Digger. So there's a little bit of the festival for that one as well. That's all they announced. So I mean, I'm sure there's probably a whole lineup over there on their page, but
probably
check that out over at the Inferno Metal Festival in Norway. And then, of course, getting back to the States here, we have Welcome to Rockville in 2023. They take place May 18th through 21st at the Daytona International Speedway in Daytona, Florida, which maybe this is something that Welcome to Rockville, or not Welcome to Rockville, but Blue Ridge should take a little bit from, since they do theirs in a speedway as well. So
yeah,
uh,
Daytona,
I guarantee.
Daytona's bigger though. So
Yeah, well, I
but
guarantee you, it's probably a better setup too.
probably.
Um, they listed a little bit of theirs too. I'm pretty sure this is not the whole list because there's no way there'd be way there's way longer days than what's listed here. But anyway, May 18th, you got Slipknot, Rob Zombie, Queens of the Stone Age, Pussifer Trivium, Bullet for My Valentine, Black Veil Brides, Suicidal Tendencies, Avatar, Blackstone Cherry, Converge, Bandmade, Austin Mead, Stray from the Path, Brutus, Rain City Drive, Bloodywood, Malevolence, Vended, Rivals, Windows 7, which is or Widow 7. Sorry, I thought it's Widow, not Windows. Sorry, I was about to say that's about out. That's a little outdated, but Conquer, Divide, and Butterside. May 19th, you have Avenged Sevenfold, Evanescence, Hardy, I Prevail, Motionless in White, Asking Alexandria, Sleeping with Sirens, Bad Flower, Aaron Jones, Memphis Mayfire, From Ashes to New, Born of Osiris, The Warning, Mothica, Varials, Tala, Tiger Cub, Slay Squad, Ryan Oaks, Bastardane, Otto, and Until I Die. Of course, I think Bastardane and Otto is actually on tour together anyway. So
Yeah, I think they are. Those are the bands of the Metallica offspring.
Yep. And then May 20th, you have Pantera, Godsmack, Alice Cooper, Chevelle, Alter Bridge, Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin evening. That'd be kind of interesting. Or Jason Bonham doing it. Well, I mean, he drums for me anyway, but not Loose, Rival Sons, Yellow Wolf, Sometimes Why. Well, that's pretty funny. Evil.
That's a funny band name.
Yeah.
Sometimes Why.
Yeah. Suicide Silence, Sepultura, The Bronx, Poor Stacy, Horror, 0936. Not 936, 09 and then 36. So two different bands. Maylene and the Sons of Disaster, Dayseeker, Dead Poet Society, Creator, which I thought was kind of interesting to see Creator in a festival over in the States.
Right.
The Violent, Starcrawler, and Hammerhead. And then May 21st, you had Tool, Deftones, Incubus, The Mars Volta, The Coheed and Cambria, Pennywise, and Ghostmain. So if you wanted to leave early, I would understand. So,
yeah.
And then one thing I did cover besides the festival was Kiss is wrapping up things in 2023 and has now announced their final appearances in the UK. The band's Goodbye will take place over the course of 6 shows in June and July, with the final UK Kiss show happening on July 8th at the OVO Hydro in Glasgow. But the dates are June 3rd, Plymouth Argyle Home Park, June 5th in Birmingham Resorts World Arena, June 6th at Newcastle Utilita Arena, July 5th at London the O2, July 7th Manchester AO Arena, and then of course as I said before on the 8th at Glasgow OVO Hydro. So Kiss supposedly saying their farewells. It was interesting that I read that because Gene Simmons actually said that he said, well, Kiss may go on, just not with us. So it was kind of interesting that he said that. And he said if there were some 24-year-old kids that wanted to put up makeup and do Kiss shows, we would probably be on board with that. And I'm thinking, wait,
for a cut.
Is this Gene Simmons? Is this Gene Simmons talking?
Well, I saw something. I think it was from Paul Stanley, and he said just because the MVP retires doesn't mean the team stops playing.
I mean, there you go. I mean,
something like that,
And the cool thing is that the cool thing is, it's like if they're willing to pass the torch like that, that is fucking great and awesome.
I think so. I think so.
And I think that Kiss, I don't want to. And the thing is, I don't want a cover band Kiss. I want, if you're going to see Kiss, you want Kiss. You know what I mean? So it's not you want somebody that's going to be there and be Kiss forever. Not just a cover band that's going to play here or there.
Right.
Of course,
I would be okay with that. I would be okay with that as long as it's not starting, because like you say that I actually had that on the list too, which is fine. So, but that's not to say that after that show in Glasgow on the 8th, all right, July 9th, all 4 of us are done. Here's 4 brand new people, and this is Kiss now. I would like to see a little bit of all right, so maybe Paul and Gene are the last 2, because they were the first 2. And then maybe at some point, Paul steps aside and Gene is the last, or vice versa. I don't want to see all 4 guys all at once be like, okay, all right, we're done. Go watch these guys now and give them $500 a ticket. Cause that's not how that should work.
No.
Cause especially, okay. Like you said, so basically now we have to watch, this is supposed to be Kiss, but it's not, but we're supposed to pretend that it is, more than likely pay like it is.
Well, yeah, I don't want to pay like it is, but I do. Right. I would rather. I think the thing is like you would rather see the jumping up in the air, kicking type Kiss, which they can't do in their 70s. So I mean, if you hand it off to some 24-year-olds that can actually, create some great live performances, moving around and stuff.
But at the same time, considering that this is going to be of course it's all hypothetical. This is going to be a hypothetical continuation of Kiss. It's going to have to be with the understanding that this is how we sound. This is how the songs are played. This is how you're playing it. This isn't one of those instances, like you say, where it's a cover band where you can put your own spin on a Kiss song. No, we don't. You're taking the reins from us. You're not changing this band.
Well, the thing is they said this was their goodbye in the UK, and they never say anything about the US.
That's true. That's very true.
And, they may be 2 years saying goodbye over here. So
that's more than likely what's going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if, let's see, we're coming up on the end of 22. I wouldn't be surprised if we're talking about Kiss still touring the United States in 24. Yeah.
All right, and then last but not least, Slipknot's Knotfest will return to Japan in 2023, finally realizing a plan that was initially set in motion to take place in 2020. The pandemic kept pushing back the group's Knotfest Japan plans, but they've now revealed a partial lineup for the 2023 edition. Slipknot will head up both days of the festival, which is set to take place April 1st and 2nd at the Makuhari Messe International Exhibition Hall. Joining Slipknot on the first day of the Japanese rockers Man With a Mission, the wolf mask-wearing hard rock outfit who've enjoyed some crossover to American audiences, which I've never heard of this band. I want to check them out. Including appearances on a previous Knotfest lineup in the U.S. The second day has Korn as the primary support act, with Maximum the Hormone also announced for the April 2 bill. A full lineup will be revealed at a later date. Tickets for Knotfest are on sale now via the festival website, and with merch option packages available as well. It's just kind of repetitive saying about the pandemic thing. So,
anyway. Yeah, we know everything has been affected by the pandemic.
Yeah, we know.
We know.
And that's it, last but not least, but I didn't realize I had one more. So Pantera have officially been announced as headliner for the 2023 Incarceration Music and Tattoo Festival, which will take place July 14th through the 16th at the Ohio State Reformatory in Mansfield. The 3-day event has become a fixture of the U.S. festival scene over the last handful of years, and earlier this year, a trio of headliners, including Korn, Breaking Benjamin, and Disturbed, among dozens of other big-name acts and plenty of up-and-comers as well, make it a well-rounded lineup. It didn't have the full lineup yet, so once they get that, I will share that along. But you got Pantera, Korn, Breaking Benjamin, and Disturbed, so that's not a bad outfit there. So
no, that's not a bad foundation.
Yeah. So, and reading what I have so far, Welcome to Rockville, Incarceration, all DWP festivals. So I would probably think that Pantera is probably going to be on all of DWP stuff. So
probably.
And of course they're at the, they've been announced for Blue Ridge too. So, so definitely making their festival rounds in the States. We'll see.
Absolutely.
Next year. So that's all I had for that. And then I'll let you do your thing, and I'll try to see if I can find some info about
Tesla for Victor.
Tesla for Victor, yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, starting. All right. Well, for my contribution to the Hitting the Road segment this week, for the week of December 10th through the 16th, starting over at the PRP.com, as always, we have Ne Obliviscaris, Beyond Creation and Persephone, going out on tour of North America. This one is way out there. This one's not starting until October of 23.
Wow.
Starting October 5th, 2023 in Baltimore, Maryland at Soundstage, finishing November 13th in New York at the Gramercy Theater. No Nashville date for that one. Then we have Born of Osiris, Reaping, Asmodia, and Bystander, starting February 24th in St. Louis, Missouri at Red Flag, finishing March 12th in Fargo, North Dakota at the Hall at FBC. No Nashville date there. Then See You Next Tuesday has a trio of January shows that have been announced. Show number 1 is January 13th in Chicago at Beat Kitchen. The second show is January 14th in Grand Rapids, Michigan at the Pyramid Scheme. And the third show is January 15th in Detroit at Sanctuary. And Jason alluded to this earlier in the show, but Chimera has announced a couple of 20th anniversary, The Impossibility of Reason anniversary reunion shows. They will be May 12th and May 13th at the Agora in Cleveland, Ohio. Integrity and State of Conviction will be opening the show on the 12th, and Ringworm and Solipsist will be opening for the show on the 13th. We have Rotting Christ, Karak Angren, and Gaera going on a tour of North America starting February 16th in Houston, Texas at the Warehouse Live, and finishing March 14th in Orlando, Florida at The Haven. No Nashville date on that tour. Chemist, Conjurer, and Wake are going out starting April 27th in Minneapolis, Minnesota at Studio B at Skyway Theater, finishing May 21st in Vancouver, British Columbia at Modified Ghost Fest. That is actually a Chemist-only appearance. They will not be in Nashville, but they will be in Murfreesboro, Tennessee at Hop Springs on May 10th. Yeah. Then Haken and Arch Echo are going out starting May 3rd in Nashville. The venue for that has yet to be announced, but the tour will kick off in Nashville and conclude June 3rd in Chicago, Illinois at the Concord Music Hall. Stick to Your Guns is going to have a 20th anniversary mini residency at Chain Reaction in Anaheim from March 16th through March 19th. Insomnium, Enslaved, and Black Anvil going out starting April 5th in New York at Irving Plaza, finishing April 30th in Baltimore, Maryland at the Baltimore Soundstage. No Nashville date. We have Drugs, Varials, The Callous Dowboys, and 156 Silence going out starting January 30th in Atlanta, Georgia at the Masquerade, finishing March 4th in Pontiac, Michigan at the Crowfoot Ballroom. No Nashville date there. Vulvodynia, To the Grave, Viscera, Osaya, and Bound in Fear going out starting March 2nd in Boston, Massachusetts at Sony, finishing April 8th in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania at the Warehouse on Watts. They will be in Nashville March 31st at the End. Drug Church, Prince Daddy and the Hyena, Anxious, and Webbed Wing going out starting February 28th in Cleveland, Ohio at Mahal's, finishing April 2nd in Albany, New York at Empire Live. They will not be in Nashville, but they will be in Murfreesboro, Tennessee at Hop Springs on March 23rd. So that venue down there southeast of Nashville over in Hop Springs is getting in on the love.
Is that outdoor venue?
Yes, it is.
Okay, cool.
Yep, it's that winery down there where Steel Panther was going to play.
Okay.
Yeah. One Step Closer, Soul Blind, and Life's Question going out starting January. It was January. God almighty. January 11th in Cleveland, Ohio at Mahal's, finishing January 22nd in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania at the Underground Arts. No Nashville date there. Bleeding Through, Of Sulfur, and the opener to be announced are going to be going out starting February 24th in Roseville, California at Goldfields Trading Post, finishing up April 1st in Anaheim, California at Chain Reaction. No Nashville date there. The Ghost Inside has a very quick European and UK tour set up starting March 29th in Birmingham, England at the O2 Institute, finishing April 3rd in Bristol at SWX. Vulvodynia is on the list again with The Last 10 Seconds of Life. Bound in Fear and Bone Carver are going on a European and UK tour after their tour of North America. That tour is going to start April 21st in London, England at the Underworld and finish May 14th in Ghent, Bruges, Belgium at Asgard. I hope I said that right. So Lewis, if you're listening and I mispronounced that, you'll have to forgive me. So Then we have Candlemass going on a West Coast tour in March of next year, starting March 10th in Seattle, Washington at Substation and finishing on March 17th in San Diego, California at Brick by Brick. Limbs, Dark Divine, Famous Last Words, Vagrants, and Colorblind going out starting February 2nd in Brooklyn, New York at St. Vitus, finishing February 19th in Chicago, Illinois at Beat Kitchen. They will be stopping at The End in Nashville on February 16th. Golrod, Cognitive, Summoning the Lick, and Flub are going out starting March 16th in Brooklyn, New York at Sovereign and finishing April 14th in Richmond, Virginia at The Bike Shop. No Nashville date there. Then moving over to blabbermouth.net. Overkill is going to Europe next year, of course, starting April 13th in Bochum, Germany at Zecha. Finish, I think that's how you say that. And then finishing April 30th in Madrid, Spain at BUT. I don't know if that's like an acronym for something because it was all in caps. So I don't know if that's, or I don't know if it's Boot or Butte. I'm not 100% sure because it is over there in Madrid. Not 100% sure. And then Jason, you mentioned this a little earlier in the show. Also, Left to Die is going on a European tour, and Left to Die is the former members of Death and Gruesome coming together to play. That tour will start March 3rd in London, England at the Garage and finish March 30th in Sofia, Bulgaria at Mixtape 5 Club. We have Lamb of God, Creator, and Municipal Waste going to Europe. That's a tour I would see. Starting February 15th in Munich, Germany at Zenith and finishing March 19th in Berlin, Germany at the Columbia Hall. There are 3 dates on the tour without Lamb of God. Those dates are February 16th in Bratislava, Slovakia at the Majestic Music Club, February 26th in Strasbourg, France at La Laterie, and March 9th in Leeds, UK at Beckett University. Under Oath, Periphery, and Loathe are going out starting March 3rd in Silver Spring, Maryland at the Fillmore, and the tour will finish April 2nd in Nashville at Marathon Music Works. Then last but not least, this one is one that I saw over on Facebook. We have Powerman 5000 and Alborn going out starting March 1st in Destin, Florida at Club LA, finishing March 18th in Houston, Texas at Scout Bar. No Nashville date on that tour. So that is my contribution to Hitting the Road for the 10th through the 16th.
All right. So, Victor, I did find some information for you. Tesla will not be at the Monsters on the Mountain in Gatlinburg. They're not listed anyway. So, but they are on that cruise you were talking about, the Monsters of Rock cruise. They are listed there. So, there you go. The cruise is April 29th through May 4th. It's got Tesla, Autograph, Burning Witches, DAD, Dirty Looks, Doro, Extreme, Faster Pussycat, Great White, Hardcore Superstar, Joel Hoekstra, Junkyard, Kicks, Lee Aaron, Liliac, Loudness, Max Sabbath, Michael Schenker, Queensryche, Reckless Love, Rhino Bucket, Rose Tattoo, Saxon, Striper, Ted Poley, Tora Tora, Treat, Tyler Bryant and the Shakedown, Vane, Vandenberg, Winger, and hosted by Eddie Trunk and the mayor John Corabi. So
Jesus.
So there you go. That's for the cruise.
That's a hell of a lineup.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah. So then you got the Monsters on the Mountain is August 19th, 20th, and 21st. You got Tom Kiefer, Extreme, Ingve Malmsteen, Quiet Riot, Richie Kotzen, Kip Winger, Autograph, Lillian Axe, Bad Marriage, Tingo Down, Nerd Halen. Oh well. I think that's what, Nerd Halo. Queensryche, Striper, Stephen Piercy, Dangerous Toys, John Corabi, Enough's Enough, Cold Sweat, Bad Marriage, Pyromania, Night Ranger, Kicks, Firehouse, Nelson, Vixen, Brother Kane, Pat Travers, Sato.
Pat Travers, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Michael Sweets, Wild America, Shot of Poison in the Hot Summers. That's also hosted by Eddie Trunk, Jim Florentine, and Don Jameson. So
the cast of that metal show.
Yeah. Yep. So there you go.
And Ingve Malmsteen's on it, so that's the lineup of the year right there.
Yeah, there you go, man.
It'll just cancel every other festival.
I know, right?
It's over. It's just done.
Yep. I never thought about going to. I should probably go to one of those at some point just to get some. Yeah, you're welcome, Victor. I'm glad I could find some info for you. So, I know it's hard. Victor's on the road a lot, so it's hard for him to.
Yeah, Victor's always driving to his next show that he's going to live stream,
or driving for a living too. So I think so.
No, Victor does construction, I think so.
Oh, does he? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Dana's the truck driver.
Oh, there we go. That's right. My bad.
Well, I mean, Victor would be still driving from job site to job site, but Dana's the one who's over the road. So
yeah, there you go. That's what I was thinking about. My bad. Yeah, at least I didn't say y'all look alike. So
that's true. That's true.
I might need to get my eyes checked if I said that. So he's an electrician.
Oh, okay. There he goes. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So,
I'm going to keep that in mind, Victor.
Yeah. So, hey, Victor, are you a journeyman? Is that what you do? Or just kind of wondering because that's a damn good living to be a journeyman doing that stuff. So
that's how he can afford all the concert tickets.
Right? Yeah. Either that or he's doing lights for him and not telling us. So.
Hey, I mean, hey, that's shit. I guarantee you he could probably do that.
She probably could.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so go from hitting the road. I guess we can dive into some history that we haven't been able to touch base on in a couple of weeks. So, so actually, yeah, he's a journeyman.
He is a journeyman electrician.
Hell yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that, man. I try to get my son into shit like that. Of course, it's like talking to a solid wall. So.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean,
it's a damn anything you can do. Journeyman's always good, man.
I was just about to say. I was just about to say if I could go back to when I was in my late teens or something, I could tell myself, dude, go to some sort of trade school and do that.
Hell yeah,
just do that
instead of wasting $20,000 on college. Yeah,
kind of kick it, kind of every now and then I kind of kick myself because. I actually took some building trades classes when I was finishing up middle school, going into high school back when I was still living in Michigan. And I enjoyed the fuck out of it. Oh, so, I mean, learning how to do like drywall and rough carpentry. And of course, like I say, I'm only like 13, 14 at the time. So I wasn't doing anything extravagant, but just learning how to do that kind of stuff, just like the entry level basic shit. And even some very, very basic electrical. I enjoyed the fuck out of it. I never followed up on it. So every now and then I kind of kick myself for not following up on that shit. But
the good thing with Victor though, if he ever leaves a job site and goes straight to a show, forgets his tool belt, he'll just fit right in anyway still. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
No, metalheads would never know the difference. So
they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't.
He's normal.
Yeah, he's totally fine. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if to find out that Victor wears his battle vest on a job site. I would not be the least bit surprised.
All right, I didn't go all the way back. I just kind of was like, well, I'm just going to go from the 1st of December until now. So that kind of gives us a little bit of a
yeah, okay.
There, so
well, I
haven't done any of this in like 3 weeks, but
I just did the past week. So, and I already told you how many entries I have. So it's going to be by far the shortest the shortest entry in of this entire segment that we've ever done. So.
All right, kicking off December 1st, 2014, Phil Rudd, the drummer of rock band AC/DC, pleaded not guilty to charges of threatening to kill and possession of drugs. Phil Rudd was excused from appearing in New Zealand's Tauranga District Court, with his lawyer entering his plea. The 60-year-old Australian-born musician was originally charged with attempting to procure the murder of 2 men, which we know. I guess we've covered that a few times on here, so we kind of know how that turned out. So
yeah, not well.
No, not well at all. Yeah. So December 1st, 1993, American rock singer Ray Gillen died of 34 of AIDS-related disease in a New York hospital. He was best known for his work with Badlands, in addition to his stint with Black Sabbath in the mid-'80s, and recording most of the vocals on Phenomena's Dream Runner album. So, I guess that's why Badlands was such a short-lived band. I didn't realize that. I was wondering why they only made 2 albums and they were gone. So,
well, there you go.
Yeah. So, I know Jakey Lee's still around doing stuff, but I was like, wow, that's kind of crazy. All right, December 2nd, 2021, English music manager Richard Cole died at the age of 75. He is most known for having been the tour manager of Led Zeppelin from 68 to 80. He was the author of the book called Stairway to Heaven, Led Zeppelin Uncensored. So there you go. I'm sure he had some stories on that thing. December 2nd, 2007, Sharon and Ozzy Osbourne made more than $800,000 for charity after they sold off some of their possessions from their former U.S. home. Items sold included the family's custom pool table for $11,250, and a pair of Ozzy's trademark round glasses went for $5,250. The beaded wire model of the Eiffel Tower that adorned the kitchen fetched in $10,000, while the skull adorned trainers worn by Ozzy sold for $2,625. So, good on him.
Yeah.
December 2nd, 2003, Darkness singer Justin Hawkins was held for 2 hours at a JFK airport, New York, after police mistook him for a wanted man with the same name and looks. The police only agreed to let him go after Justin's fiancee and manager, Sue Whitehouse, produced a tour schedule to prove that he was in England on July 4th when the crime was committed. Jesus Christ, that's crazy as hell. December 3rd, 1986, Judas Priest were sued by two families alleging that the band were responsible for their sons forming of a suicide pact and shooting themselves after listening to Judas Priest records. The parents and their legal team alleged that a subliminal message of do it, including Judas Priest, "No Better You, Better Than Me" from the Steam Class album, and alleged that the command in the song triggered the suicide attempt. The trial lasted from July 16th to the 20th. July 16th to the 24th of August 1990, when the suit was dismissed. Of course, God forbid metal be, causing mental health problems. I think it kind of does the opposite. Then December 4th, 2012, Randy Blythe, the frontman of Magada, charged over the death of a fan at a concert in Prague in 2010. The singer was accused of pushing a fan off stage during a show in the Czech Republic. The fan hit his head when he fell to the concrete floor and died 14 days later. The 40-year-old singer faced 5 to 10 years in prison if convicted. Of course, we know how that all turned out.
Yep.
First off, Wild fan on stage. There you go.
Yeah.
And where the fuck was security?
Exactly.
December 4th, 2 months after the tragic death of drummer John Bonham, Led Zeppelin made the decision to break up. The surviving members decided it was not right to tamper with their legacy by bringing someone else in to play drums. In a statement, the band explained their decision. "We wish it to be known that with the loss of our dear friend and deep respect for the family, together with the deep sense of undivided harmony felt by ourselves and our manager, have led us to decide that we could not continue as we were." Yet they still tour with his son. So there you go. Money talks after a while, I guess. December 7th, 2019, Ozzy Osbourne offered a $25,000 reward on the return of stolen instruments previously owned by his late guitarist Randy Rhoads after the Masonia School of Music in North Hollywood was robbed on Thanksgiving night. The stolen instruments included Rhoads' first electric guitar, a 1963 Harmony Rocket, as well as a rare Marshall prototype made specifically for Rhoads. Man, that's crazy as hell. Seems like a lot people just like stalk Ozzy and steal shit.
Well, I mean, they know he can't move very fast, so
I guess he can shuffle. He shuffles.
You shuffle the fuck out of somebody.
December 8, 2013, Metallica played a gig inside a dome at the Argentina Antarctic base Carlini, thus becoming the first band to ever play on all 7 continents. During the concert, audio was transmitted to an audience made up of competition-winning fans from Latin America through headphones. Staged in conjunction with Coca-Cola Zero, it was only the second ever gig to take place on the continent, following a performance in 2007 from a group of musical scientists called Nunatak, at British Antarctic Survey's Rothera Research Station as part of the Live Earth Climate Change Awareness Concerts. So, yeah, that's always something Metallica can always say, that they played all 7 continents. And have the, what was it? The most
Oh yeah, the highest selling album of all time in the Nielsen SoundScan era. Hell yeah, across all genres.
Yeah. You're missing your mark on this, man.
I did. I completely whiffed on that one. That's my bad.
Of course, I've missed my mark. I've missed my mark a few times on Yngwie Malmsteen.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I know what segment we're doing.
Of course, December 8, 2004 was a horrific day when former Pantera guitarist Dimebag Darrell was one of 5 people killed after a man stormed the stage during a Damage Plan show at the Arosa Villa Club in Columbus. Nathan Gale, age 25, began firing at the band and the crowd, was then shot and killed by a police officer about shortly after the first shots were fired. I didn't realize this was like the same date and 20 years exactly apart, which is fucking crazy. December 8th, 1984, Vince Neil from Motley Crue was involved in a car accident in Redondo Beach, California, which killed Nick Dingley from Hanoi Rocks and injured 2 other passengers. Neil was later sentenced to 30 days in jail, 5 years probation, and had to pay $2.6 million in restitution to the victims of the crash. Neil got out of jail after 15 days for good behavior. But that is pretty wild. December 8th, 20 years apart. And what's crazy about that is it never showed anybody else in the car but just Nick and Vince. So. December 9th, 2020, American record producer, songwriter, and musician Jason Slater died at age 49. He was bassist and backup vocalist for the American rock band Third Eye Blind, and Slater went on to produce many projects, including 4 albums by progressive rock band Queensryche. December 9th, 2003, Ozzy Osbourne was admitted to Wexham Park Hospital in Slough, Berkshire, after being injured in a quad bike accident at his home. The 55-year-old singer at the time broke his collarbone, 8 ribs, and a vertebrae in his neck. News of Osbourne's accident reached the House of Commons, where the government sent out a goodwill message. So if you ever want to know why Ozzy's so fucked up, there you go.
Definitely doesn't help.
No. December 11th, 1973, Kiss guitarist Ace Frehley was nearly electrocuted during a concert in Florida when he touched a short-circuited light. The guitarist was carried from the stage but returned 10 minutes later to finish the show. December 13, 2001, American singer, songwriter, and guitarist Chuck Schuldiner died of brain cancer. He founded the pioneering band Death in 1983. Schuldiner is often referred to as the godfather of death metal. Death's best-selling album is the 1991 release Human. December 14th, 2004, the funeral took place in Arlington, Texas for Damage Plan and Pantera guitarist Dimebag Darrell. Eddie Van Halen placed Darrell's original black and yellow striped guitar into the Kiss casket he was buried in. Several thousand fans and friends gathered at the Arlington Convention Center in Arlington to mourn the guitarist's death. Darrell was shot 5 times in the back of the head during a gig at the Arosa Villa Club. And of course, we just talked about that by a mentally ill former U.S. Marine. Drum technician John Brooks and tour manager Chris Paluska were both injured in the incident as well. So I always thought that was a cool, if they ever did like a movie, man, that would be so emotional to see whoever's played Eddie Van Halen to place that guitar in that casket, man. That had to be something to freaking witness, man.
Yeah.
And then knowing Eddie's gone now too, would make it even more emotional. But
yeah.
December 14th, 2003, Ozzy and Kelly Osbourne went to number 1 on the UK charts with Changes, a remake of the first track sung by Ozzy on the Black Sabbath album Volume 4 in 1972. It was the first father and daughter chart topper since Frank and Nancy Sinatra in 1967, which is crazy. Almost 40 years between father and daughter duos there. I don't know how many duos it would be in music in that time, but I'm sure there was a few.
Well, do you figure though it had to have been sung?
Oh yeah. I mean, you had Nat King Cole and his daughter. They did a song together. Yeah, Natalie Cole. Yeah, so there you go. So December 16th, 2004, gold and silver Black Sabbath discs were stolen from the Kent home of Ozzy Osbourne's former manager, Patrick Meehan. Like I said, somebody stalks Ozzy was stealing shit. Police recovered the disc a week later after they were offered for sale on an internet auction site, eBay. Never steal something and try to sell it on eBay. That's just stupid on your part.
Right.
Then last but not least, December 16th, 1984. Not really, metal related, but it is hard rock related. So just the incident itself was kind of the reason why I wanted to bring it up. But ZZ Top bassist Dusty Hill accidentally shot himself in the abdomen when his Derringer fell from the boot of his car and discharged and shot him. He drove himself to the local hospital for treatment. I don't know how that happens. That's fucking crazy. Just fall out and discharge in the car. It was like, well, you just ride around with the safety off, man. Like,
I don't know. It's so strange.
That is all I had. So,
all right. Well, you ready for my contribution to the historical releases?
Well, I don't know, man, if we got time or not.
Well, here you go. All right, here you go. For the week of the 10th through the 16th, like I said, I just did this one. I did this 1 week. Starting off with 12/10/21, Lordy releases Abracadaver. 12/12 of 96, Arch Enemy releases Black Earth. 12/14 of 18, Venom releases Storm the Gates. 12/14 of 2010, Motorhead releases The World Is Yours. 12/15 of 98, Badlands releases Dusk. And 12/16 of 03, Machine Head releases Through the Ashes of Empires. That's it.
Wow. That's it. Damn.
That's it.
That's crazy.
I know. Those are the historical releases that I found from the 10th through the 16th this week in metal history. I have a feeling there were more than that, but just my two sources, that was all I found. So,
yeah. Like I said, we're kind of getting to the end of doing this segment anyway after the next couple of weeks. So,
yep.
So, like I said, we'll bring up some things like, the dime bag shooting. We'll talk about that again, I'm sure.
Yeah,
but
the major stuff, sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we will jump into the theme of the week list here. We wanted to do things associated with calendar this week. So I couldn't find anything about hanging walls or anything. So.
Which is kind of surprising, but
yeah. I mean, especially being with metal, you would think
there'd be something. Yeah.
All right, that's my contributions. First off, I went with Ice Nine Kills. Thank God It's Friday from the Silver Screen 2018. Then I went with Lamb of God, September Song from the Omens album this year. I went with Non-Point, That Day. Just pick one, I guess, but Non-Point from the Non-Point self-titled album in 2012. Then I went with Bullet for My Valentine, End of Days from Scream, Aim, Fire 2008. Then I went with Pantera, 25 Years, Far Beyond Driven 1994. Then Megadeth, Reckoning Day from Euthanasia 1994. Then I went with Killswitch Engage, Numbered Days, Alive or Just Breathing 2002. Then I went with Gojira, Born in Winter, L'Enfant Sauvage from 2012. Children of Bottom, Your Days Are Numbered from Halo of Blood 2013, which all days are numbered on the calendar, right?
Yep. Yeah, you kind of got a two for there.
Yeah, two for you. So then I got Machine Head, Seasons Wither from Through the Ashes of Empire 2003. Then I went with Wednesday 13, kind of went with band name that time.
There you go.
Then Decompose from the Necro Phase album 2019. Then I went with UDO, Independence Day from Solid 1997. And then New Year's Day, Kill or Be Killed from Malevolence 2015. So that was my contributions.
So how many was that?
I think 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 13. So
okay, I had 20.
Oh wow, gonna be a long list.
I just like fuck. I better stop because I just kept going. I was like, I better stop. So
well, the cool thing about it is I didn't even go to Encyclopedia Metallum and cheat this week. So
No, that's not cheating. Come on, that's not cheating. And I say that because I've been doing it because I've been doing it for months.
Well, I mean, some of them, I'm like, damn, I have to go in here and look at some. I never thought about doing that. I'm glad you brought that up, actually, because
yeah,
it kind of, I mean, it's not really cheating, but it kind of gives you, those songs out there at you, and you're like, oh yeah,
it just
because you
kind of
don't, you're not automatically can think of everything off the top of your head. I mean,
right, yeah. Okay, so and that's the cool thing. That's another cool thing that doing that, going to Encyclopedia Metallum just for a little bit of help. It's cool that we decided to just kind of just to kind of scrap the top 10 and just do just whatever. So we changed it to like a theme kind of thing instead of just kind of pigeonholing it to 10. So that's kind of cool. All right, so it gives you a little bit more freedom. You're not trying to keep it into a certain number. So that's why ultimately I was like, I better stop at 20 because I just like just rolling along. All right, so for this week's theme, my contribution here, starting off with number 1 with Saturday Satan by Powerwolf off of Lupus Day from 2007. Then I went with Tomorrow Night by Steel Panther off of Balls Out from 2011. Then I had Yesterday Don't Mean Shit by Pantera off of Reinventing the Steel from 2000. Then I had Days Turn Blue to Gray by Machine Head off Through the Ashes of Empires from 2003. Then I have The Calendar by a band called Icy Steel from their album Guest on Earth from 2018. They are a heavy metal band from Sassari, Italy. So that was cool. Then I had Seasons in the Abyss by Slayer off the album of the same name from 1990. I had Year of the Snake by Chimera from the Age of Hell from 2011. Then I had In the Year of the Wolf by Motorhead off of Inferno from 2004. I had What Tomorrow Knows by Nevermore off of their self-titled album from 1995. Then I had The Day You Died by Arch Enemy off of Rise of the Tyrant from 2007. I had Yesterday's Bones by Ex-Hoarder off Mourn the Southern Skies from 2019. Then I had Good Friday Thrash by our friends Hidden Intent off of Walking Through Hell 2013. Then I had Good Morning Black Friday by Megadeth off of Peace Sells But Who's Buying from 1986. Then I had No Tomorrow by Sentenced, which was a bonus track from their album Frozen from 1998. Then I had Monday Morning Apocalypse by Evergrey off of Monday Morning Apocalypse from 2006. Then I had A Better Tomorrow by Creator off of Outcast from 1997. Then I had If I Die Tomorrow by Motley Crue, which was a single that came out in 2004 that ended up on their Red, White, and Crew compilation album. Yeah. Then I had Birthday, Death Day by Death Clock off the Death album from 2007. Then I had Christmas Truce by Sabaton from The War to End All Wars from earlier this year. And last but certainly not least, I had Tomorrow by Rage off of Wings of Rage from 2020. So
nice.
33 songs, no doubles.
Wow, that's even crazier.
Yeah, I know. So that's going to be that'll be one hell of a playlist. So we'll get that compiled and collaborated on, and we'll get that posted for you guys as soon as we can.
All right, so we'll jump into album reviews. There wasn't a whole lot out there to choose from this week, so there was one I wanted to go back and.
Well, it gets a little bit more difficult the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, right. Let me go into the playlist real quick before we get too carried away here.
Yeah, you're good.
Let's see. Get into the right thing is like you can only do it from. I don't know why that is. I can't do it from your post. I have to do it with a page post. I don't know why that is, but it didn't show up for some reason. All right, there is the weekly one.
There we go. Weekly playlist is right there on the screen for you guys.
Let me get this. I'm going to share it. Oh, don't. I minimized everything. I didn't want to do that. At least didn't get rid of everything. That'd been even worse. All right.
Or you didn't X out of the studio.
Right, that's what I was like. So while I was talking about the other one here, let's see. Let me go back to this. There's an album, Highway Queen. Get on Your Knees. You should probably check that album out. So
Okay.
I think you would like it more than I did. I still liked
Okay.
a lot of it, but it still seemed a little more, had a lot more power metal and stuff
Highway
in it.
Queen. Okay, I see
Yeah,
it. Yeah. Bitter
yeah,
Soul. Okay. Yeah, I see it.
yeah. I think you would like it a lot more than I did, but I still like there's still some Doro Warlock type songs on there that I really dug. But
Oh, nice.
yeah, but it definitely had a little bit of a range in there, so it wasn't one dimensional, I guess. So, all right. So I chose Blood Clot Souls for my album review. Blood Clot is a project featuring true hardcore pioneers John Joseph of the Cro-Mags, plus former members of Queen of Stone, Joe Castillo on drums, and Nick Oliveri on bass, and Danzig's former guitarist Todd Youth. So kind of a odd, odd.
Yeah, but kind of a little bit of a super group kind of going.
Yeah, but it's kind of odd from the bands that play, different types of music. So it's kind of crazy.
Well, that's very true. That's true.
But, so they got listed as like a punk band. I'm not sure, maybe because of the Danzig and Cro-Mags part, but I didn't get that kind of
probably.
I didn't get that kind of vibe from this album. So maybe I'm just with the times or something. I don't know. Anyway, this is the band's second release. The two releases are really EPs and not full-length albums because like the first one was barely 30 minutes, and this one's 7 songs, 2 minutes, 52 seconds. So it's got 7 songs, but it's still real short.
Yeah.
And it had like a minute 19 song on there, but it was. I mean, it hit and sang and everything, so it was like a song. It wasn't
okay.
Interlude or anything. Mm-hmm. Kind of reminded you of the old like MOD type stuff, where they just kind of sang, got to the point, and went on about their way. So
right, yeah.
But definitely reminded me of some old school Anthrax, Testament, maybe even Slayer. And some of the songs like the old stuff, like 80, early 80s. So. Of course, the guitars are, like really fast. And of course, the drums keep pace. So it was more like a speed metal album to me than it was a punk. But maybe they heard something I didn't. But the vocals are definitely, kind of in your face, fast, loud. Nothing like really. Nothing like really like. I don't want to say it's one dimensional, but it's. It doesn't like stray too far off the path, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
The song "Infectious," there's a song "Infectious" on there. Kind of changed the pace a little, and then they just got right back to back into your face. And then there was the last track on the album was a Bad Brains cover called "How Low Can Punk Get," which I didn't really care for that track too much, but I'm not really a big punk fan either, so
right.
Yeah, unless it's CM Punk. That was kind of a joke too, but overall, it was a pretty good album though. I'd give it 3.5 horns, so not too bad.
Not too bad.
Like I said, I don't know. I kind of want to place that in like the EPs though, because it being so short.
Well, I guess that would kind of be up to you. That's kind of your prerogative to do that, even though it's not listed as one. But it is super duper short. Hell, even because I know you. We talked before the show, just trying to chatting. I actually was able to get through 2 albums yesterday, but that's only because the one that I did my official write up on, I did "Hidden Beyond Time" by Green King. They're actually a heavy / doom metal band formed in Helsinki, Finland. It doesn't say when they were formed, but their first demo goes all the way back to 2015. So I guess they were formed right around then. This is actually their full-length studio, their debut full-length studio album. This is the first one they've done. Their lyrical themes include fantasy. That's the only thing that's listed. We have Heikki Nyman on bass, Otto Bigler on drums, Lauri Leitinen on guitars, and Eliel Saloma on guitars and vocals. This was 8 tracks long, 33 minutes and 52 seconds. So, this one's a, an LP, but it's on the shorter end, of course. 8 tracks long, like I say, 8 tracks, 33:52. So it was a really quick listen. The one thing I didn't like about it is, considering how short it was, tracks number 3 and 5 were interludes. They were basically pointless. So it was just kind of album filler, which I really didn't think was called for on an album that's only like 33 minutes long. So
right. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. So you take those 2 tracks out, you're talking less than a half an hour. So they had kind of an interesting sound. They kind of sounded like a mix between Black Sabbath and The Sword. I don't know if you remember The Sword, but they broke up years ago, but I still remember them. So they kind of had a little bit of that dark. Of course, they are a doom metal band, so it kind of tracks a little bit. So nothing, musically, nothing kind of out of, that was overwhelmingly didn't really stand out. A lot of the songs were, all of the guitar riffs were pretty basic, a lot of the drum line. Overall, I would call this a safe album, if that makes any sense. Nothing really, nothing super duper outlandish as far as the guitar riffs go. The drum lines were more or less just there to keep time. It kind of seemed like. There were a couple of songs at the end where the guitar solos got a little bit thrashier, but I mean, there was nothing thrash about this album though, which I mean is fine because they're not a thrash metal band. Right. But track number 7 is called "Where Speedian Dwells." That guitar solo was probably the most up tempo and probably the most dynamic of all of them. All the other ones were pretty basic. So I would call this a decent album. Like I say, it seemed like it was pretty safe. As far as a debut LP, I mean, they definitely could have done a lot worse. So, I mean, if this is I'd say if this was the foundation of how the band's sound evolves, I say it's probably a pretty good jumping off point. I'm going to give it 3 horns out of 5. I think the band has more potential than they showed here, but again, not being able to play music. I mean, I have any room to judge, but considering, like we say, considering that this is an album review and it's a little bit of a critique at the same time, so.
The Green King album, right?
Yeah, that was Green King, Hidden Beyond Time. I think I actually shared. I actually put that Still on Ice song on the playlist. So. Yeah, I actually saw it as one of the insets on the playlist. So yeah, I did see that it was on there.
What's so funny is like you I don't know how often we get releases like this where you have a band called Green King and then right next to it you have a band called Highway Queen.
That's true. It just kind of worked out that way, which was very cool. Especially with the way that everything's set up on that little thumbnail for the playlist. Yep. So, yeah. All right. The other album that I listened to, in its entirety anyway, was Chain of Gifts by a band called Masser. I don't really know anything about them other than just what I listened to because they're not listed on Encyclopedia Metallum. So I have a feeling that as far as Encyclopedia Metallum is concerned, they're not a metal band, which makes sense because I didn't know what the fuck I was listening to. Let's see. Let me see what. Okay, because fucking Spotify doesn't even have like an artist description. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. Yeah. Like I say, it was 7 minutes. It was 7 songs, 24 minutes and 18 seconds long, which is a little bit misleading because the very first and very last tracks were kind of intros and outros that were consisted of practically nothing but synth music with animal noises behind it. So I'm like, what the fuck am I listening to? So 24 minutes and 18 seconds is a little bit misleading because as far as actual songs goes, it was probably it may have only been like 20 minutes. As far as the actual songs themselves, once I got past the first track, it sounded to me like this was going to be like a metalcore band. They had hints of like the aggressive vocals, and then all of a sudden, all of the guitars and drums went away, and I was like, I don't know what they were trying to do.
They fired everybody mid the recording.
It almost sounded like, because I was like, what the hell just happened? And I don't know. I really don't have a decent description for what the band sounded like once the instruments went away. I don't know if it was supposed to be like some sort of spiritual kind of meditative background music. I don't really know what it was supposed to be, but I think
I listened to that actually,
and there were still like periodic sprinklings of his of the metalcore in it, but they weren't in there enough to make a difference. I do remember kind of like one segment, and I don't remember what song it was because I was driving, so I was just I was listening but paying attention to where I was going, so I have no idea what song this was, but there was one song where there was like maybe 45 seconds to a minute of it sounded like kind of like a death metal kind of drum solo. That was all there was of that. So I don't know, like I say, I don't know if this is supposed to be a metalcore band, a melodic metalcore band. I don't know what sound they're going for. I have no clue.
Yeah, the only song that I liked on the whole thing was the one I added to the playlist.
Yeah, so
that Dogs of War or whatever.
Yeah, so that may have been the only song in its entirety that could have even been, in my opinion, considered metalcore. The rest of the album did not sound like that. So I don't know what subgenre of metal this band is even supposed to be going for, because like I say, they're not even listed on Encyclopedia Metallum, so I don't know. I think I'm only going to give this 2 out of 5, and again, I think I may be a little on the generous side because there wasn't a whole lot of metal to be found. So I may be being nice a little bit, but I really have no idea what that was that they were going for in its entirety. So it's kind of strange. And then the only other album that I got to, like I say, I'm only, how far am I on this one? I am on track 3 of 10, so I'm only 30% of the way through with this one. The album Reapers by Trade by Siberian Tusk. So far it's got a little bit of a so far I would say that it sounds like Black Sabbath with a little bit more groove to it. Okay. So that's kind of like the sound that they have so far to me. You know, a little bit of a throwback style, a little bit more groove to it, with a little bit of a throwback with an updated sound and a little more groove, basically. So that's kind of where I'm at with that one so far. So far, not too bad.
So what do we got next week? I'm sure the releases are getting smaller and smaller. So.
Oh yeah. The list for this coming Friday is a lot shorter. So for this coming Friday, December 23rd, we have Absolute Key with The Third Level of Decay, The Crippler with I'm Just Gonna Let Myself In, Demonio with Electric Voodoo of the Black Dawn, Embalm with Prelude to Obscurity, Flesh Gore with Carnival of Flesh, Godwatt with Volume 3, Grimstalt with Anthems of a Mournful Despondency. We have Ire with Assum Na Terro Como No Inferno. We have Occulst with Parturition of Adulteration. Order of Nosferat with Vampiric Wrath Unleashed. Spectral Corruption with Requiem. Vampiric Tyrant with Zorn und Hass. That is an EP. And then we have 2 re-releases by Vulture, Easier to Lie and Fatal Games. And then it looks like Vulture has a new album coming out, Flight of the Vulture.
Oh, nice.
But that's it. That's the list.
That may be something to check out. So,
yeah, that is the list.
All right. Well,
yeah,
we just have to make do with what we got. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we can find some hidden gems on YouTube or something again. So
maybe.
I was looking this week. I didn't find nothing. So
yeah. But yeah, that's gonna do it, man. That's the list for the coming week. So it'll be a little bit. We'll definitely have to make sure of course, we usually do, but we'll definitely have to put our heads together to make sure we don't overlap this week with so much
Well,
fewer.
yeah.
So it'll be like going back to the beginning of the year when we were using Loudwire and make sure we didn't do the same album.
Well, I mean, like I said, if we do, we'll get two different perspectives on the same album, I guess. But
that's true. That's true.
It is what it is. So.
That it is. Yes, sir.
All right. Well, I guess that will wrap this one up for this week.
Yep.
Hope everyone enjoyed everything today. Was glad that got to see Victor and Dana in the chats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always cool when our friends come by, whether it's our Facebook friends or just regular run of the mill listeners. It was nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong with it. We didn't see Myrna today, which was kind of strange, but it is Saturday. I'm sure she's busy, so and definitely no hard feelings there. She's in here more often.
She may be working
more often than not. So yeah, she may be working. But good to see everybody in the chat. Victor and Dana as always. So.
And check out Metal and Tats. That's Dana's page, and then also Hard and Heavy.
Actually, it's Rock and Heavy for Victor, but
yeah. Sorry, Rock and Heavy. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Rock and Heavy for Victor. So. Like I said, and then Dana and Krista over at Metal and Tats. So
yes, Dana and Krista
don't want to leave Krista out. So
absolutely not.
She does some amazing artwork and stuff for over there. So.
Yes, she does. But before we go, just want to let everybody know, like as always, you can where to find us. You can find us on VOPUSARadio.com, the VOP USA Radio mobile app. You can find us at Metalheads Unite at Metalheads Unite USA at gmail.com. Our Facebook group, you have to be a member, so send us a member request over there. We'll get you guys hooked up. We're creeping up on 500 members, so it would be nice to get there before the end of the year, but it's also not the end of the world. But you want to join us over there? Just
we got to set goals, man.
We do have to set goals, and then we've also got Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. So we are at Metalheads Unite USA on those apps over there. So
we're as hip as we're going to be, probably. So. When it comes to apps, anyway. So
yeah, and of course, lest I forget our YouTube channel too. So
don't forget that. So.
Yeah, don't forget that. So.
If you want to find us anywhere, Twitch and all that stuff, I think we're still on VOP USA over there. So
yeah, as far as Twitch goes, we are. And then and just so I don't forget, any of these playlists that we put together, Jason had the weekly one and last week's theme up there. You want to find any of our playlists that we've posted, but I have no idea how many we've put together. It's got to be close to 100 at this point.
Well, I got 48. So
yeah, so I mean, you figure we got to be close to 100, considering you do a weekly one and every week we do a theme. It's got to be pushing 100. So you want to check out any or all of those playlists, you can search for us at Metalheads Unite over on Spotify, and you'll see Metalheads Unite presents, and then so.
Which New Year, I'll probably be going and filtering some of those out. So getting ready for 2023. So
we'll definitely keep the ones up there for the theme with the themes. Though.
Well, yeah. The themes will be up there because mainly because we don't do another one with the same themes.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
All right. Just want to thank everyone for stopping by today. Hope you enjoyed everything today. A little conversation and a lot of tour announcements. If nothing else, man. That's that was the biggest part of the day, I think. So,
yeah, it was.
Which is good. Gives us something to look forward to in the new year. So.
Absolutely.
And just so you guys know, we will be with you on Christmas Eve. So celebrate Christmas Eve with us over here next Saturday. So. Not sure
So
I'll be able
for
to do. Not sure I'll be able to do 3 hours, but we'll
right.
do what we can. I do have afternoon.
Yeah.
Things
Which
I have to
means
get to.
yeah, which means for some of our friends, we actually will be doing a show on Christmas Day, depending on where
Well,
they're
yeah,
watching.
that's true. That is true. I didn't think about that. Maybe back it up.
They'll be okay. Anyone who can't check out the show live, we totally understand. They can watch or
Oh
listen to
yeah,
one of the rebroadcasts. No harm done.
Yep. We're not going to judge on that. So
yeah, we do hope.
As long as you listen. So
yeah, we do hope everybody will be able to join us live for the New Year's Eve show, though. That'll be.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a pretty good show. So
that's going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
As we wrap up our second full year, still kind of hard to believe.
No, it's kind of definitely flew by. So.
It has. It really, really has.
All right, so put a bow on this one, and then we will see you guys right back here next week, hopefully, and then talk about the news and all the other good things that we usually do. So
that's right.
If I find another top list from one of the other sites, we'll kind of squeeze that in since we're getting close to ours. Kind of.
I was gonna say we may read one or two more of those between now and the time we reveal ours.
Yeah. All right, guys. We will hopefully see you back here next week. Thanks for joining in today.
Yep.
And then until next week, keep those devil horns held high and jump in that pit anytime you can. See you next week.
Have a great week, guys. Thank you.